That's Jade McRae with her version of Advance Australia Fair. And now we wait for the referee and players to take their places. Some emails very quickly. Greetings to Ray and the team from Baku and Azerbaijan. Listening to it live online. That's Joe. Thank you, Joe. Tex Ritters. He's back. He's in the PNG jungle on a drilling rig site. I emailed 5 weeks ago. You gave me and all the PNG locals a plug over the air. The boys were wrapped. We're gathered around the computer to have you online live. Blocker is the man that speaks PNG.
Murugata Burugata.
Exactly. I concur. As now Darren Lockyer places the ball centre of the halfway line. He kicks it left foot and it goes back beyond the 10-metre line. Billy Slater attacks the football 12 metres out from his own line and put down almost immediately in the tackle. He'll play it 15 metres away from that goal line centre field. The acting half Smith away on the outside to White for Melbourne. He's put down. The grand final for 2006 is underway. The ball comes away on the outside of the second rower. He's put down the tackle now. We'll play it back. Ryan Hoffman 35 metres away from his own line, 11 in from the eastern touchline at Telstra Stadium. Now the ball back to Kafusi. He's taken 11 short of halfway by 4 tacklers. All over him like calamine lotion. Tony Carroll's there. Webke's there. They'll play the ball back now. Thorne's there as well. The pass on the outside of the lightweight back rower. And he's put down the tackle now. Dallas Johnson. 8 metres short of halfway. 5th tackle, says Simpkins. The ball will come back for the kick by Cooper Cronk. Downfield that goes to the far side of the field and taken by the wing 3/4 on that side of the field. Darius Boyd. He brings it back almost to the 20-metre line before he's put down on the tackle, and he will play the ball back now. The acting half is there. They run from acting half to the other wing 3/4. Carmichael Hunt goes outside the 20 and put down 25 out from his own line. They go dummy half running again this time. They go up almost to the 40. 11 metres short of halfway. They're put down on the tackle now. Look like Berrigan. Now the ball comes away on the outside of Petro. Sivanasiva. He's put down for Brisbane right on halfway. 50 metres away from the Melbourne Storm goal line. We've had 90 seconds to play. 0-all the score. Now Berrigan again. The ball comes on the outside of Perry. Inside ball to Thorne. He's put down by 3 defenders. Over the top Kafusi. There as well with 2 others, and he plays the ball back, including Kidwell. 5th tackle kick. Left boot. It's coming towards the touchline. It came away there from Darren Lockyer. It's taken by Gaia. He's set upon by Thaiday and 2 others and driven back to his own 10 where he plays it 15 in from touch, and Billy Slater comes down the touchline and he's put down inside his own 20.
Well, breakneck speed to start off this grand final. Gee, they're hard to put a hit on, aren't they? The Melbourne Storm, they're swarming now. The Brisbane Broncos, they're fleet of foot, aren't they? Billy Slater up the short side. They couldn't put a hit on that time. Melbourne with the football now.
2 gone. The ball comes to Cooper Cronk, gone straight through. Over the 40, comes to halfway. Hodges has got to attack him. He falls over, and Hodges falls on him 40 metres away from the Brisbane Bronco goal line. Cooper Cronk made the first break. Now the ball comes away on the outside to the centre 3/4 King, who's crunched to the ground on the far side of the field. He'll play the ball back now. I think Stagg, was it? No, it was Tate that made the tackle. There's a 5th tackle kick coming from Melbourne. Hodges goes back for it, took it beautifully. 8 metres away from his own goal line, and then 10 metres before he's hit on the tackle. And I think White was over the top to bring him down, and he'll play the ball back now. 10 out from his own line as they bring it up through Thorne. He's put down on the tackle. He'll play it now 15 metres away from his own goal line to his feet. Berrigan to acting half. No score on the board. Webke blindside. Oh, he's put down on a crunching tackle of Kidwell just inside the 20. Big collision there. Over the top, Johnson 2 complete. Petro Sivanasiva outside the 20. He's put down 25 metres away from his own goal line. In centre field, he'll play the ball back. 0-all the score. 3 gone. Now the ball comes away on the outside of Tony Carroll for Brisbane. He's put down 32 metres away from his own line. Just off centre field. Lockyer, 5th tackle kick from inside the 40. Away from the fullback, Billy Slater. He's looking for a 40-20. He won't find it. Slater attacks the ball 2 in from touch, eastern side of the field. Then he's put down on the tackle almost immediately by Brent Tate, and he'll play the ball back. Comes to Turner. He got past Thorne. Then he fell over at the feet of Thaiday, and he's put down on the tackle by Sam Thaiday. 26 out from his own line. Blindside they go. Oh, that player Thorne made the tackle on the second rower. Hoffman offside, but the penalty wasn't for that. It was for a flop from, I think, Brent Tate. The penalty goes the way of Melbourne. No score on the board, 4 minutes gone. Repeating, Parramatta won the Premier League in extra time by a point, and Penrith over Newcastle and Jersey flagged by 2.
Gee, they didn't need to do that. The flop tackle, they play the ball quicker than any other side in the NRL. The Melbourne Storm get the penalty straight away. Not a real good kick for touch there. Melbourne just over the halfway line.
Here's the ball coming back away as they find touch 45 metres away from the Brisbane Bronco line, and now they're over the 40. They play the ball back from Smith. Away on the outside now, the dummy thrown by Johnson. He's put down by Thaiday. Webke there as well, I think you'll find, and he'll play the ball back. He does, about 35 metres out. Now Smith scurries from acting half. Thaiday makes the tackle, 28 metres away from the Brisbane Bronco goal line. No score on the board as the ball comes away on the outside of Cooper Cronk. He's made the one break of the game. Kidwell got the ball away to Inglis. Inglis with a bit of room, but over the top they come, and they bring him to ground now, 21 metres away from the goal line of the Brisbane Broncos. As Stagg made the tackle, Guy comes in field. He's put down on the tackle now, and will play it 16 metres away from the Broncos goal line. Fifth tackle, back to Cooper Cronk. He'll go across field now to the wing on the far side. They attack the football beautifully. It's taken in goal. No, in the field of play by the wing three-quarter on the far side, Darius Boyd, and then dragged into the in-goal area. Goal line drop out the first of the match. On the touchline, Tony Megahey. He's there for Host Plus Super.
No nerves, the Storm. They got the first penalty in a clean break. They're right on their game. No nerves, the newcomers.
And now the goal line dropout will come from Darren Lockyer. He's slowing things down, Lockyer. He knows he needs to just slow things down and change the tempo of the game in the opening 5.5 minutes. It's been all Melbourne. The dropout comes from Lockyer. It's a cracker. It goes 60 metres on the fly and taken by Slater, who gives it to White. White will wind up from halfway, comes to the 40 and smashed to the ground. He'll play the ball back over the top. The defence converged there, and I think it may have been Stagg, the centre. It was, as the ball comes to Kafusi. He's put down on the tackle of Tony Carroll, 32 metres out from the Brisbane Bronco line. Smith from acting half runs, got a pass away on the outside, put down on the tackle Ryan Hoffman. He'll play the ball back now, just outside the 20. The ball, the Lockyer, the tackler, by the way. The ball to Cooper Cronk, flat pass. Oh, Kidwell hitting the tackle by Perry. Got it quickly away. It's been knocked down, I think you'll find, by Berrigan. 6 to go it was. Picked up by White. This will be zero tackle. He's held on the tackle now and put down. The next one will be the first as they play the ball back 21 metres away from the goal line. The acting half is there. Goes blindside. The ball to Kafusi. Tries to bounce away from the defence, but he's put down now and will play the ball back. Webke over the top. Now they run from acting half. Smith to the 11-metre mark. Got the ball to Hill. Cooper Cronk. They're looking for Inglis. They got the ball to Slater. They haven't overlapped. The ball went away to Guy. Good tackle. He's brought down on this side of the field by Carmichael Hunt, and he'll play the ball 5 out from the goal line. Now the ball goes back the other side. Cooper Cronk away to Hill. They've got numbers out wide. The pass went to Johnson to King. He's down the touchline, but he's covered up magnificently and lost the ball. Wonderful tackle by Darius Boyd and Tate, and the ball will come back the way of the Broncos, and they'll run it out from their own 10-metre line through Tony Carroll. 0-all the score, 7 gone for Harvey Norman.
Oh, they scrambled so well then, the Brisbane Broncos. They had to hang on after the penalty, then the line drop out. They needed to hang on there. They were out in their feet. Great scramble that time from the Brisbane Broncos to start this game.
On both the western and eastern touchline. Good by Carmichael Hunt and good on the other side as well. As Webke brings the ball forward and put down on the tackle. They'll play the ball back. No, my apologies, it wasn't Webke, it was Thorne. Now the pass goes back away. In centre field they have it, and they're 35 metres away from the goal line through Justin Hodges. Disentangles himself. Penalty. Scott Hill took an hour to get off him, and the penalty goes the way of Brisbane. 1 penalty apiece after 7.5 minutes of play. It goes the way of the Broncos, a relieving one 12 metres short of halfway. Magoo's on the touchline for Host Plus Super.
Yeah, no problem with the Broncos. They read that decoy play and that second man play to perfection. On the edges, they got them both times, and here's a chance for the Broncos.
And they'll find touch way downfield, Magoo, and they do that right now. This is their first attacking opportunity, 30 metres out from the Melbourne Storm goal line. The tap is taken. It comes away on the outside now. The ball went through Petro Sivanasiva via Perry, and he's put down Big Petro. 22 metres out, 26 metres out actually, from acting half. Berrigan, short pass away to Thorne. Thorne's almost through. Dragged down from behind. He'll play the ball back as he was taken by Hill. Berrigan from 12 metres out. He's acting half. He goes across field, looks for a straight runner. Got it to Petro Sivanasiva. The pass was almost forward, I would have thought. Referee was well positioned and said no. From 6 metres out from the goal line, Berrigan back to acting half. He's got Hodges blindside, turns it back into Thaiday. Theiday's dropped down by Dallas Johnson, a metre short of the goal line. Gets up, plays it from acting half. Berrigan goes, he's in goal. Can he get it down? He lost it. Picked up by Slater. And the referee says no. It's been a penalty for a rake in goal. A penalty for a rake in goal right in front of the post, the first scoring opportunity via a goal. Now what has happened right in front of the referee, there's been a rake as he went to put the ball down. A 2-man tackle, the ball was raked out obviously by a player in front of Slater who picked it up, and they're going to kick for goal. We'll look at the replay now, it'll come up very, very shortly, but that will illustrate to us the score 0-all, 9 minutes gone, that the ball was raked out from Berrigan's grasp as he tried to put it down. Of course, in the old days, you could probably come up with a penalty try.
He's lost that.
Oh, dear. That's a shocking decision.
I'll tell you why, it is a shocking decision too. Billy Slater was gone up the other end. He got the ball to Gaia. There was no cover defence coming from Brisbane.
Unbelievable. That was a dreadful decision made in haste. He would have been better to call in the video referee, because it certainly was a try-scoring movement to disentangle it. He would have come up with a knock-on in goal, or in fact a knock-on on the field of play, probably in a scrum 10 out. Now he moves into it. Left boot from Lockyer, 2-0. 2-0 to score. One of our favourite golfers, Tony Carolyn and Abdul. Backlisting from Taiwan this time. Hope it's a great game. Go the Broncos. We won't miss a minute. Good on you, TC. He's a good man. I saw him play at Castle Hill a number of years ago. He can hit the ball a mile, and he's a good golfer and a good fella. Kick-off comes now from Melbourne. He's about to kick the ball off the centre of the halfway now. Cameron Smith, 2-0. First blood goes to the Broncos. They lead 2-0 for Harvey Norman. On the touchline, Magoo for Host Plus Super.
Well, don't you dread it. Early in the game, a refereeing mistake. All the momentum with the Broncos, but gee, that was a bad call. Why didn't he go upstairs?
Well, he could have, Tony, because it was a try-scoring movement. All he had to do was say, I didn't see whether he got the ball down, and then you could have had conclusively that the ball was not raked out, that Berrigan had lost the ball before the tackle was made over his shoulder, and basically it had come forward again, and he tried to grab it, and that's when Slater grabbed it off the knock-on as Thorne from the restart gets the ball back towards the 30. He plays the ball now, 30 out from his own line. Berrigan at acting half. The pass on the outside to Perry, the halfback. Back on the inside of Thaiday. Good run by him. He's been impressive in the opening 10 minutes. 10 and a half gone. Broncos lead 2-0 from acting half. Now they go through Hodges. Deceptively strong and fast, and he's put down 45 metres away from the Melbourne Storm goal line. Fifth tackle, midfield bomb by Lockyer, probably a little too deep. Slater's got it covered, takes it beautifully out, hitting the tackle by Brent Tate. Absolutely waited till he hit the ground and smashed him. They play it to Turner, to King, and they are up rather quickly. In fact, probably too quickly, Brisbane. The referee allows them some latitude as they play the ball back to the Storm inside their own 10. Back it comes now to Turner. He's put down 12 metres away from his own goal line. To his feet now from acting half Smith. Away on the outside, Hawthorne a little high, I thought, on Dallas Johnson, with Carroll completing the tackle for Brisbane. Melbourne in possession, trailing 2-0. Now Guy has come in from the wing. Got the ball quickly to Kidwell. They've got numbers if they can get it to Inglis. Inglis is there. Over the top of them almost. He's dangerous. He's 32 out from his own line. Fifth tackle. Gets up and plays the ball to Gaia. He'll send it back to Cronk. Cronk kicks it downfield. This may be too big, is it? No, it bounces along the touchline.
Is that a 40-20?
Oh, gee, it might be horribly close to it. I think it is. They'll check the replay. I'm pretty sure it was a 40-20. Let's have a look, Stephen. The referee is waiting for the adjudication now. Wait till I see the arm go up.
Well, all the players are patting him on the back. Here it is, yeah, well inside the 40.
It's a 40-20 for your life, and the ball goes into touch. Ooh, just inside the 20. It's a 40-20 Melbourne ball. He's had it confirmed by Bill Harrigan from the video referee's box. OPSM checked the video referee. 2-0, Broncos over Storm. It was a good kick. Geez, it was hurried, and it was low trajectory, and you didn't think it was going to get there. Then it took a great bounce for Melbourne, a dreadful bounce for Brisbane.
It was effortless, really, wasn't it? Didn't look like he kicked it that hard. Plenty of practice there from Cooper Cronk, who started the game well. Here's
Cronk now, after he had got the ball back away from Hill, who'd gone to lock, and they'll play the ball back now. He picked it up, Hill at lock. Now Smith goes straight through, past Webke, who came from behind and dragged him down a metre or two out. He'll play the ball back. Inglis from acting half. He tries to go himself, but the defence is awake to him and drives him back into the field of play from astride the goal line. He'll play the ball back to Smith again. Smith will go to the left-hand side. The ball to Hill. He tried to pump it back on the inside. He's still going around the corner to Turner. What a try! What a try! Scott Hill has got a Matt Gidley miracle pass away around the corner, and the Storm are going to lead by 4-2 with a kick to come. A magnificent Storm try.
Well, they've looked the most likely, haven't they? Although the Brisbane Broncos scored first. Hill in his last game now for the Melbourne Storm. Geez, a hard man to handle. Dummies on the outside. Spins out an attempted tackle. Gets the right hand free. And can't he finish this kid? He hardly gets any headlines. Steve Turner goes in for the first try for the Melbourne Storm.
Replay action comes your way for the Bortley Wines. And so the kicker goal will come from Cameron Smith after the Steve Turner try. And he'll kick for touch over on the eastern side, only a half a metre in from touch to give them a 4-point lead at the moment. It's a 2-point lead, the Storm over the Broncos. He's about to move into the kick. What a magnificent try.
Oh, that was just beautiful to watch, wasn't it? Hill, pressure game. He's a good player, isn't he? The pass on the outside with the right hand. They wouldn't have expected that too. And they scored the first try. It was all set up early in that set of 6 tackles. Cameron Smith nearly got on the outside of Shane Webke. The quick play the ball. The Melbourne Storm get over the stripe.
Okay, someone's asked me to turn the referee off. I wasn't aware he was on. He's off now, he's gone. We'll bring him up when we need to hear from him. Anyway, here's the kick at goal to come from Cameron Smith. Replay action comes your way for the Bortley Wines. Great to hear the Aussie accent, said one of our emailers, Anthony from London. Thank you, Anthony, enjoying the coverage from right across the World Wide Web. 4-2, Storm first try of the match after about 12 minutes of play goes their way. After a magnificent 40-20 by Cooper Cronk. That laid the platform for the try. Scrum feet inside the 20. They score. 1 ruck later. Left boot strikes it towards the uprights. Looks pretty good in flight. Oh, it's waved away. Just scraped the upright, and as a result, it's still 4-2 Storm over the Broncos. That's for Harvey Norman on the touchline for Host Plus Super Tony Megahey.
Their coup men are on their game. Cameron Smith, a little break, and then Scott Hill, a fabulous play near the line, and then a finish off. Gee, their coup men are on their game. And Cooper Cronk, a clean break, a 40-20. What a player.
And let me tell you, there was a really, really bad miss. We've lost the football, by the way, by Brent Tate on Hill. He had him covered cold, nothing was doing, and a really bad one-on-one miss by Tate allowed him to pop the ball round the corner as he came to the next line of defence, and as a result, Turner scored out wide on the eastern touchline. And we're about to see the ball kicked off now. It comes from the left boot of Darren Lockyer. It goes deep to the goal line. It's taken. They'll give it away to Kafusi. From the goal line, he brings the ball back and he's met by some rugged defence. So the first blood as far as 4-pointers is concerned, it goes the way of the Melbourne Storm. They run from acting half. Smith away on the outside to White. No changes yet. We've had around 15 and a half minutes of play. They'll play the ball back now. Smith again. The long ball to Cooper Cronk. Then it goes to Kidwell. Kidwell, good tackle. Brought him down 21 metres out from the goal line. He plays the ball back. It was Perry who made that very good tackle. They targeted him on this left-hand side of the field. 31 metres out from their own line. 11 in from touch now. They play it. Kidwell's going to go the blind side again. And at the defence, the marker made the tackle. He's brought down now in the tackle of Berrigan. 11 short of halfway, 5th tackle. Cooper Cronk's going to switch it wide now. It went to Cameron Smith. Left foot kick from inside the 40. Hodges is going to attack the football and take it on the full inside the 20. He'll now return the kick. Comes at King and put down on the tackle 35 metres out. So not a great kick because they're back on the attack almost immediately as the ball comes to Tate. Tate runs at the defence and picked up into a pretty dangerous position, but then let go by Dallas Johnson. And as a result, we'll see the ball played back by Brisbane, 11 short of halfway. 4-2 Storm over Broncos now, 23 and a half from half-time in the 2006 Grand Final. They play it back 2 short of halfway. The ball from Berrigan to Petro Sivanasiva. He's put down on the tackle. He will play the ball back now. He's just 45 metres away from the Melbourne Storm goal line as he gets to his feet now and plays it back. The pass on the inside of Thaiday. He's put down on the tackle. 38 metres away from the Melbourne Storm goal line. That is the 5th tackle. The crowd going a little quiet at the moment. Now on the 5th tackle it comes to Lockyer. There's one of those midfield bombs again. It's coming down for Turner. They're getting through. Turner should take it and lost it. It's gone back in an offside position to King. The referee said no, knock on. Well, it had to be a penalty, I would have thought. Cooper Cronk trying to settle him down as he goes over to King and Turner. But I'm pretty sure if I watch the replay that King was in front of the man that touched it. It went forward. He got away with it because he waited until he got back on side by about 1.5 millimetres. That's why he got away with it. He probably shouldn't have got away with it, but he did. And the scrum will pack down. So they targeted that winger, the left winger, Steve Turner. They come up trumps as Perry works the scrum for Brisbane from only 10 metres out to Lockyer, then to Hodges. Hodges tries to get on the outside of Slater. He did, but he's taken the tackle of Greg Inglis now. 2 great young players, 15 metres away from the goal line of Melbourne. Melbourne lead by 4-2. Now the ball from Carmichael Hunt to Petro Sivanasiva. He goes inside the 10 by about a half metre before he's put down on the tackle. He will play the ball back to Berrigan for Brisbane. They go to the blind side. Berrigan, the cutout pass away on the outside, back on the inside. Perry, who's playing on that right-hand side of the field. The ball came back away now to Berrigan. Inside ball to Thaiday. Thyday's filled on the tackle now by King. 3 metres out from the goal line. Berrigan to acting half again. He runs across field. The pass has gone to Lockyer. They've got an overlap. Lockyer inside ball. It came to Hodges. They score. Beautiful try to Brisbane. Beautifully contrived. They came across to the left-hand side. They had them for numbers. Justin Hodges came back on the inside, and the Broncos lead 6-4. Kick the calm.
Well, he's been the man that's looked most dangerous for the Brisbane Broncos. Justin Hodges, he gets the try. The sleight of hand of Darren Lockyer. He just got a couple of blokes engaged coming across, turned the ball. He went late, didn't he, Hodges, that time? He went late. He's got great speed, great power, a very awkward play of the tackle, and he goes over unopposed. Great hit back there from the Brisbane Broncos, and isn't he having a game? I know it's only been going for a while now, but Justin Hodges is playing sensational.
19 gone, Blocky, and it's 6-4. Broncos over the Storm. Replay action comes your way for the Bortley Wines. Blocky, I need you to do Colonel Buchholder. We've got a listener in Germany, in Berlin. Have a great call. Here's to a Broncos win. I've missed the accent. Cheers, says Denny and Jana.
General Buchholder, I'm so happy to see you.
Exactly. That's it, Clinky. That's the kick. Just to make you feel at home over there, Jana and David. Anyway, the kick is about to come. He looks like Schultz without the helmet. Here's the kick to come now. I hope he hasn't got a helmet. Here's the kick about to come. 15 metres out from the post, 20 metres in from touch, and he should be able to put this over Darren Lockyer to give them a 4-point lead. 8-4 it should be. Left boot strikes it towards the uprights. Leather perfect it is. 8-4. Broncos storm to the lead again over the Storm by 8 points to 4 on the touchline for Host Plus Super, Tony Megahey.
Yeah, well, the champion did the business. He drew 2 in, and Justin Hodges, the man that put the Bulldogs on the slide, he's at his best tonight. What a beautiful try, Hodges.
One of our listeners in the United Arab Emirates in Dubai. Good coverage listening on the web with 4 mates, says Glenn. 4 lads over the laptop. Only problem is Ramadan on a dry grand final night. No grog here. Here's the ball taken by Perry to Petro Sivanasiva from the kickoff. Replay action comes your way for the Bortley Wines, and they have the ball inside their own 20 now, and they'll play the ball back about 19 metres out from the goal line as it comes to Webke. Look for the change. Webke's lost the ball, I think. Webke has been hit solidly in a tackle. Smith was involved in the tackle, and Shane Webke has put the ball down on the second tackle from the kickoff, and this is the way that the Melbourne Storm will punish you. If you make a blue, they will punish you. And this is a scrum in centre field, 20 metres out, and they can go either to the left or the right. Inglis is on the right, King and Slater on the left, Hill, Inglis and Geyer on the right. And they're about to work the scrum. They come Inglis's way. The ball with Cronk goes to Hill through a dummy. He goes inside the 20 and put down. Here's a great opportunity now for this Melbourne Storm to strike back and level up at 8-all. The ball played to Inglis. He'll come on the infield. He gave the ball back first. Replacements on now. Ben Cross. He's put down and driven back on the tackle. That's his receipt as he comes onto the field. Plays it. Smith from acting half. Great ball away to Dallas Johnson. He's almost there. Somehow Thaiday stopped him putting the ball down. He's right next to the post. The ball comes away from Smith. Cooper Cronk double pumps to Slater. He comes back on the inside and taken in the tackle now. And I think there was a flop from Petro Sivanasiva. The referee missed it. They get up now and play the ball back. Smith from acting half. Across field. Goes to Johnson. He dances around. He's put down now by the defence. 9 metres away from the goal line. Brisbane okay at the moment. 5th tackle. Smith to acting half. They lead 8-4 the Broncos. Hill. They spin the ball wide to Inglis. He's lost the ball behind him. It's gone on the ground. That will be a changeover as it's dived on by one of his teammates, Kidwell, and the Broncos will go. In fact, they didn't play it from the correct spot, so the referee calls them back. They tried to play it quickly, but they've got to come to the 10-metre mark on the changeover. They do that now, and that allows the centre three-quarter David Stagg to be chased across field and put down by Dallas Johnson. Now they come blindside as they bring the ball back out. The 14's on the field now, Corey Parker, so he's on. Couple of replacements. Webke gets a breather. From acting half, they run this time. 19 metres away from their own line, 20 in from touch on this western side of the field. Berrigan again. The pass to Petro Sivanasiva. He's put down by Antonio Kafusi, Smith and Johnson, and there was an assist from the 16, Ben Cross. They played inside the 30. The ball turned back on the inside now. Straight and hard they go and put down about 15 metres short of halfway on the 5th tackle is Thaiday. They come blindside now from inside the 40, but he's kicked downfield over the head of Billy Slater, but Slater covers plenty of ground quickly and takes it on the full 10 out from his own line. He's gone straight through. He's over the 30. Comes to Hodges at the halfway. Hodges backpedals. He goes to the 30. Steps inside Hodges, and Hodges got him by one leg and dragged him down and wouldn't let him go. Should be penalised. 29 metres out from the Broncos line. What a kick return, King. Great ball away to put down on the tackle, Ryan Hoffman. He'll play the ball back now, 14 metres out from the goal line. Smith from acting half goes away to the blind side. Hill, then to Kidwell. They've got an overlap. Geyer couldn't unload. Great tackle, Carmichael Hunt. He had Inglis unmarked on his outside from 10 metres out. They play the ball back from acting half. Smith, Hill, dummy. Flicked out the back again. The quick ball to Kidwell, then to Geyer. Threw it over the top to Inglis. Inglis almost impossible to stop, but they did. Carmichael Hunt from a metre out stopped him. They'll play the ball back. Stagg as well. Now the pass comes on the outside to Geyer. Then out deep, straight through almost Cooper Cronk. He's trying to unload, but he can't. He's put down. Tate's calling them out to the left-hand side. That's the way they go. The ball to Hoffman. Little kick into the in-goal area. Tidied up by the wing three-quarter Darius Boyd. Goal line drop out the result. Not a bad kick by the second rower as it turned out, and the Broncos still lead by 8-4. What about Billy Slater?
Oh, how good are the players on show tonight, aren't they? That's beautiful play from Slater. He dummied on the outside. Tate missed the tackle. I agree with you, Ray. It should have been a penalty too. Hodges does well to make the tackle, but he hangs on just a little bit too long for mine. Melbourne will make him pay now.
Here's the ball, the goal line dropout coming the way of the Brisbane Broncos. We've got 15 and a half still to go. Magoo's on the touchline for Host Plus Super.
Turning into a classic. What about Billy Slater? And then that try saver by Hunt. But more to come. Here come the Storm with the pressure.
And the dropout comes. G'day to Ferguson, Ontario, Canada, listening through the World Wide Web, who sent us a net note. Dropout comes now from the left boot of Lockyer, taken by Slater. Given to Cross, who winds up, and he's put down on the tackle now. Big Ben Cross, about 31 metres away from the Brisbane Broncos goal line. 8-4 to the Broncos over the Storm. 15 and a half from half time. Antonio Kafusi put down on the tackle now. 29 metres away from the Brisbane Bronco line. The ball to Hill. Turns the pass away to Smith. Forward pass, I thought, to King. Touch judges missed it somehow. They'll play the ball back from 15 metres out. Good tackle by Lockyer and Tate. The ball comes back the other side. Hill. They're working towards Inglis' side of the field. Cut out pass to that man Inglis from Cooper Cronk. He comes inside, but they've done well. And he's put down on the tackle now. And we'll play the ball back. And then, that's been lost at acting half, I think you'll find. The man that made the tackle, by the way, was Berrigan. Berrigan made the tackle on Inglis, and the ball's been dropped, I think, by Geyer, who went from acting half and just did it all too quickly. And as a result, he tried to pick the ball up and dropped it, and the scrum will pack down 10 metres away from the Brisbane Bronco goal line and 20 metres in from touch as they play the ball away from Perry onto Hodges, who scored that magnificent try off a Lockyer pass. 12 out from his own goal line. 14 from the break. The Broncos lead by 8 points to 4 for Harvey Norman. They bring the ball back and put down on the tackle now, about 21 metres away from the goal line. They play the ball back. It looks like Thorne's on the field, or Carlaw's on the field now, and Thaida's off. Thank you very much. As they play the ball back, so Carlaw on, Thaiday off. The pass comes back on the inside to the centre. He's put down on the tackle now, the number 4, David Stagg, 15 metres short of halfway. The ball goes on the outside to Perry. Then the pass away to Corey Parker. He's lurking out here on this left-hand side of the fringe. He'll play the ball back 6 metres now short of halfway. On the fifth tackle, Berrigan went from acting half and got a pretty ordinary kick in. It went between the fullback Slater, who picked it up, and Turner, who's got it now after the pass from Slater, and then Turner's put down. After the success they had with the high kick to Turner, I would have thought that's what they would have been doing from that end of the field, putting it over to his wing. Penalty. Broncos inside the 10. And so they compound the poor kick from Berrigan with a penalty going the way of the Storm. 29 out from their own line, and Cameron Smith left foot kick, and he rockets that downfield 44 metres away from the Brisbane Broncos goal line.
I'll tell you what the Broncos have been able to do in this first half is defend a mistake. Now they're on the roll. Now they've had a lot of football now, the Melbourne Storm. They've got to try and hang on as Cross just gets driven back again, and he'll be in the tackle but Carroll. Yeah,
and Carlaw assists as well as Smith sends the ball away to Hill. Then the pass went on the outside to Cooper Cronk. He got away from the defence and then he went again. Perry missed him, I think it was, but then he came from behind and he was put down anyway by 2 teammates, including Berrigan, who's defending on this left-hand side of the field where Inglis is lurking. The ball from Dallas Johnson, almost a pop pass around the corner there, but they couldn't quite get it clear as they play the ball back. The 14's on the field. Dallas Johnson away to Hoffman. Hoffman almost through, still going, dropped down just 5 metres short of the goal line. Adam Blair's on the field for Melbourne in 14. They play the ball back now. It comes away on the outside to Hill. Hill's 20 metres out, goes across field. The ball to Inglis. It's along the ground. Bounces up for Guy. Back on the inside to Inglis. Inglis goes down the touchline, still going. They tried to put him in a touch, and I think they have. He's in the touch and the scrum to back down. Haven't they marked young Inglis, Greg Inglis, particularly well over on this left-hand side of the field in defence, right hand in attack. And this time there were defenders coming from everywhere, including Perry, and the scrum will pack down. It will be a Broncos loose, a Broncos feed, 10 out from their own goal line and 20 in from touch, and they still lead by that same margin, 8-4. That's for Harvey Norman.
No, you're 100% right. They've handled Inglis, and they have to too, don't they? He still looks dangerous, even though there's 3 or 4 players from the Brisbane Broncos around. Gee, Berrigan's made a number of tackles out here on their left-hand defence for the Brisbane Broncos. Don't know what he's doing out there, scrambling at everything.
He certainly is. It's apparently raining in London on this Sunday morning, I'm told, by Elise and Josh, who are in Putney. And they're listening to the call on the internet. Here's the ball won by Brisbane, and they play it back as it comes back away to Thorne, who's put down on the tackle, 21 metres away. And, of course, Petro Sivanasiva is off the field. And I think Webke's come straight back on, has he? Yeah, he's got a small breather. Shane Webke, he's had about 7 minutes. And he's back out there as Petro gets a breather now as they run from acting half through Stagg, and he's put down 11 metres short of halfway. So a quick rest for Webke, and back into it he goes. And here he is with the ball. Webke sent the ball back on the inside to Berrigan. Berrigan stood there and he's put down. Webke went to the line there, and most unlike him, passed the ball when he was confronted by defenders, and now they'll have a kick. Lockyer, he's kicked it downfield, but again he tries to kick it between the fullback and also the winger Turner. It comes to Turner via Slater, and Turner comes at the defence and fell over at the feet of Stagg. I'm just interested in the tactic. They had success by kicking it high to the left winger, and they've gone off that tactic.
I don't think they've got in the field position to be able to put up the bomb, Ray. You've got to be in that 30-metre zone to really put the pressure on with the chase.
Here's the ball to Kidwell. He's put down after getting a one-handed pass away from Cameron Smith. 8-4 the score now with 10.5 to go before half-time. Brisbane in front as the ball comes back away to Adam Blair. He's put down on the tackle, 9 metres short of the halfway line. Just off centre field, Blair plays it to Smith. Smith's going to kick fourth tackle. Outside the 40 it was, and going back for it, Darius Boyd. It's probably going to go over the dead ball line. I think it does. Pretty poor kick by Smith. He kicked it from about 5 metres hit side of halfway, so it's gone the 55 metres on the bounce into the in-goal area over the dead ball line. Easy march back to the 20.
Gee, you'd like them to pull up, make Darius Boyd play at the football there. As you said, dead in goal. But I'll tell you what it does do. It lets your defensive line get set now. Second best thing.
Here's the optional restart on the 20-metre line. 8-4 the score. Broncos over the Storm. And we still have 9.5 to go before half-time. It's been a seesawing battle as the ball's turned back on the inside to Carroll. We've seen most of the clean breaks being made by the Melbourne Storm. Billy Slater, a kick return. Cooper Cronk from a standing start, got away from them all. And then the one try that was scored was off not a break, but an inside pass away from Lockyer to Hodges. Here's the ball now coming from Webke. They've got numbers here. There might be a break coming up as Corey Parker bounced away from Geyer, still going over the 40. Eventually Geyer from behind to drag him down, and they'll play the ball back now from acting half Stagg. Goes away on the outside to Perry as he fell. He gave the ball back away to Hodges, who was lurking in support. Hodges threw the ball away there. I think it went forward. Gee, that's a silly mistake. 30 metres out on the attack, and Hodges is trying the impossible pass. His team does lead 8-4, but they might get punished for that sort of mistake, even though it occurred 30 metres out from the opposing goal line.
Gee, they've made a number of unforced errors so far in this game. The Brisbane Broncos have done well to hang on, but will it tell the tale in the second half? He ran from dummy half, trying to pop the ball there that time, Hodges, and the ball, 3 or 4 Melbourne Storm players in the tackle.
Here's the ball coming back away and put down 35 metres out from their own line, just off centre field. They'll play the ball back. Comes from Hill, away on the outside they go, and put down on the tackle. They'll play it back 9 metres short of halfway now. Looks like another replacement coming to the touchline for Brisbane. Now the ball popped up to Kidwell, but again Berrigan, who's defending on this left-hand side of the field, is doing a good job. They'll play it back to Cameron Smith. Smith looks for a runner, finds one on the outside, comes to cross, and the number 16's put down 35 metres away from the Broncos line. The Broncos in front by 8 points to 4 in the 2006 Premiership decider. Cooper Cronk to Hill, then the delayed pass on the outside of Slater. Slater with a little kick in behind them. The ball's going towards touch, but picked up by Darius Boyd, who took the tackle of Steve Turner. An unusual tactic, sending him around to chase, but he did well. And now the ball comes back to Hodges, who's made a half break himself, comes up centre field and put down, and will play the ball back. 19 out from his own line and 9 in from touch, eastern side of Telstra Stadium. The ball comes on the run around. Back away they come now. Looks like Boyd with it, and he's put down on the tackle. 21 metres out from his own line, just off centre field. The score 8-4 to the Broncos. From acting half they run over the 30 towards the 32 metre mark now, and put down on the tackle as they play the ball back. back. The acting half is there. Carmichael Hunt looking for work. From acting half they go again. So the acting half running on the 5th tackle, 9 short of halfway. Berrigan goes to acting half. The pass on the outside of Lockyer. He kicks downfield looking for field position. It's going towards touch, but I think it might go touch in goal. It stops. No! What a kick! Just inside the touch in goal line. Slater's got to play it. He comes and he's put down by Parker and Webke. Great chase.
Oh, perfectly timed kick there from Darren Lockyer. He thought he was going to not have to play at the football that time, Slater, and have a look at him bristling up now. The Brisbane Broncos getting off their line, putting pressure on.
Now, Dallas Johnson's gone off and Jeremy Smith has come on for the Melbourne Storm. 8-4 the score. Broncos lead the way. 7 before the break now. That's for Harvey Norman as Inglis goes from acting half. He is always looking like he'll make a break every time he's got the football. Perry made the tackle. Guy from acting half. Good tackle by Stagg. 11 metres short of halfway. Parker tried to turtle him. He'll play the ball back now. Come from Cooper Cronk to Smith on the 5th tackle from inside the 40, but it's gone straight to Darius Boyd, who'll give it straight to Hodges, and Hodges gets up a full head of steam. Runs at King. Oh, King, good tackle. Great tackle. 35 out from the Broncos line, 8 in from touch, eastern side of the field. Now the ball goes from Tate to Darius Boyd. Darius Boyd at the defence and he's put down now. 12 metres short of halfway. Berrigan goes to acting half. They might go back the other way. They do. No, turn back on the inside to Lockyer. Lockyer comes to the 40 and put down on the tackle now by Blair. He will play the ball back as Adam Blair got to him. About 5 short of halfway. Now the ball from Perry to Webke. He's gone straight through and threw it back as he fell and went behind one of his teammates. It flicked out the back now. The ball came to Darius Boyd and he's put down on the tackle on the far side of the field and will play it 45 metres away. Wedke almost clearly through. The pass comes on the outside now. Straight and hard goes Tony Carroll. That'll nearly be the 5th it is. 40 metres out and again probably too far to put up the midfield bomb. The pass will come on the outside now. It goes to Perry. He feigned a kick. Then it went to Lockyer. Steps on the inside of 3 of them. He'll need to kick here shortly. He got the pass away on the outside. They go straight through Berrigan. Berrigan at the 30. The pass come on the outside of Tate. Tate went to kick it out of the air swing. Lost it. Changeover. As Brisbane come up with the ball, the referee plays the advantage and they'll play it on 0 tackle. 25 out from their own line.
That was good play too, isn't he? A dangerous player, Berrigan. Had he been able to find the outside men, Brisbane Broncos would have scored another try. He couldn't find it. Got it to Tate. He tried to put the kick down. Melbourne Storm come away with the football.
To all those emailers sending in their notes from the World Wide Web, I'll acknowledge them at half-time in 5 from now. Broncos 8, Storm 4. Here's the kick from Cooper Cronk. 40-20 again, but it's going to find touches at just outside the 20, and the scrum will pack down 25 metres away. That time, as opposed to rolling on, it stopped dead and rolled into touch, and the scrum to pack down 25 metres out from the Brisbane line. And I can tell you what, no one's in any sort of hurry to get to the scrum and gets time off signal. They are exhausted, some of these players. The score repeating 8-4. Broncos over the Storm 8-4, 4 minutes and 37 seconds away from half-time.
Well, they've done enormously well in this first half, haven't they, the Broncos? 8 points to 4 to hang on. They're not doing anything special with the football, just leaving it to Darren Lockyer on the 4th or 5th tackle to run the football. Their forwards and their outside backs really motoring up the centre of the ruck.
As the ball comes away to Carmichael Hunt from the scrum, he's made a half break. No, make it a double break. He's gone straight through 4 defenders and he's put down now 10 metres short of halfway. 4 minutes to go before the break. Can the Broncos score again? Now Tate, he's from acting half. He's put down on the tackle by Blair, and Adam Blair came over the top of him. He'll play the ball back. Slater was underneath. Now the pass from Berrigan. Perry, inside ball back away. Came back to the replacement player. He's put down Carlaw right on halfway. Make it a metre inside this Melbourne Storm territory. 8-4 the Broncos lead. The ball goes to Webke. Webke, puts his body on the line and taken in the tackle there by the number 15, Jeremy Smith. Penalty for a leg pull. Smith couldn't help himself. A really rampaging run by the Bigs front rower, Webke, and as he hit the ground with speed, he got him in a step over toe hold, grabbed him by the ankle when he should not have, and it had to be a penalty. Here's a great chance. 3:25 out from half-time. They found touch, 25 out. This would be catastrophic for Melbourne. 8-4 at the moment to Brisbane. Thaida's back out there again as Perry got the ball away on the outside. They will play it back 21 metres away from this Melbourne Storm goal line. To the feet now. The ball will come blindside. Corey Parker waiting for the pass. Took it. Immediately tackled by Cooper Cronk. Got up and played it quickly. From acting half they go Berrigan. The ball on the outside of Perry. Perry looks for a runner. He finds Lockyer. Couldn't get through. 5 out from the goal line. Perry. Short pass to Thaiday. He's almost over. Can he get it down? No. He's forced back into the field of play from the in-goal area. Thaiday. He's back on the field and making an impact again. Berrigan acting half. Switches the point of the attack. Lockyer. The ball on the outside. Hodges Hodges, great hands to Tate. Tate for the line, held up just short, can't unload. And he'll try, he's lost it. He has lost it, Tate. Referee's missed it, has he? No. He saw it, it was lost. Touch judge advised him, scrum to pack down. Oh, what goal line defence by both these teams, Blocker. This is one of the great games.
Yeah, it's been certainly good, hasn't it, Ray, in the first half. He didn't really need to throw that ball. He just panicked a little bit that time, Tate. They would have been better off going to the last tackle and try and trap Melbourne for a double set. There was no way he was going to get the football away there. A hint of a knock on there straight away. It went backwards first, then the knock on. The referee picks it straight up.
Okay, here's the ball about to be fed into the scrum. Glenn says from Dubai, while it's raining in London, 1 o'clock here, and sunny, 40 degrees. Listening to your call, thanks for making it clear, concise and visual. Wish I was there. Go Melbourne. Well, at the moment, Glenn, they just got out of jail. And there's a blood problem with Brent Tate. He's been attended to now. The referee signalling for him to pack in at lock, and he does that. Front row is just disengaging, and now, as they say in rugby union, they engage. And it will be Cooper Cronk feeding the scrum, comes back his way to Inglis, and Inglis is held up. Anyone's ball game with still 42 minutes to go. 2 minutes of this half, or a minute 1:57 actually, and then the 40 minutes of the second half. 8-4, the Broncos lead the way for Harvey Norman as the tackle's made by Corey Parker, and I think it may have been on Cross, who'll play the ball just inside his own 20. It was Cross, now from Smith, away on the outside. Well, I should say Cameron Smith to Jeremy Smith, who's pummeled to the ground on the tackle of Tony Carroll. Cameron Smith to Hill. Hill away on the outside. They can't unload. And I think you'll find that's Hoffman standing on the outside of him. It was. They play it from Smith again over the 40. Thigh-day great tackle. Fifth tackle, 4 metres short of the halfway line. 1:26 from the break. 8-4 to Brisbane. The ball goes back to Cooper Cronk. Kicks over the top from well outside the 40. Now, Carmichael Hunt's taking him an age to get back to it. So too is Hodges. They pick it up in goal. Hodges is trying to get back in the field of play. He has, and he streaks away. He's over the 10. Comes to the 20 and put down. Great kick return from near the dead ball line.
Oh, both fullbacks have been sensational. First it was Slater. I can do better, Justin Hodges says. He's the Brisbane Broncos' best player in the first half.
Here's the ball with Tate now inside the final minute, and Hodges exhausted in background. Here's the ball with Stagg. He'll run from acting half. Got rid of Kidwell. Got rid of another Stagg on his hands and knees up towards the 30 before he's put down on the tackle. 8-4 the Broncos lead. 45 seconds from the break. Thigh-day looking very dangerous. There was a chop at him from Kidwell. Missed him. He'll play the ball back after being tackled by Smith. Jeremy Smith. Now the ball to Berrigan. Oh, they want this to go another 5 minutes, I reckon, the Broncos. They are still looking the fresher at the moment. There's only 31 seconds to go, and Lockie's going to kick the ball into touch and wind it down if he possibly can. No, it's going to go into touch. No. Slater picks it up right on the touch line and tries to get away. He beat Carmichael Hunt. He's into touch himself. He's put a foot into touch. Flag in the air. If they pack the scrum, they'll get it packed quickly. The referee says with 13 seconds to go, they get there. Still 10 seconds to go, 9 seconds. He'll have to signal time off. They're there now. He signals time off with 4 seconds, no, 5 to go. 5 seconds, he signals time off. They get one crack at them. The legs are in the air. Legs are in the air, and there's a toe on the line. The crowd don't like it.
Well, why would you try to beat a bloke on the outside when you could step back in field and wind the clock down, only 5 seconds to go?
Anyway, they say he's into touch. 5 seconds to go. They get one last crack at them. And I would imagine the coach is already on his way to the tunnel. He'd be a very spectator at one of the TV monitors on the way to the tunnel. Craig Bellamy for this last play of the first half. Broncos in front 8-4. The ball from Perry away on the outside to Hodges. The siren will sound in the background. Hodges out the back to Lockyer. Put down, that's it, ball game. For the first half, they go to the break 8-4 in front. The Broncos over the Storm. Well, superlatives probably escape me. I hope it's transferring that way to your TV screens while you're listening to the continuous call team. But what a game of football we're watching here. The goal line defence has to be seen to be believed. For the Brisbane Broncos, Justin Hodges has scored a try, and Darren Lockyer 2 from 2, including a penalty. Stephen Turner scored the first try over on the eastern touchline after great lead-up work by Scott Hill, and Cameron Smith none from 1. Scrums at half-time, 5-3 Brisbane. Penalties, 3-2 Brisbane over Melbourne. And the half-time score is 8-4 Brisbane over Melbourne. Premier League, Parramatta the Premiers by 20 points to 19. Footy Tab picked the score, $900.90. And Jersey Flag, it was Penrith defeating Newcastle in somewhat of an upset. Congratulations to Brett Kenny. The score there was 22 points to 22-20. 8-4 the half-time score here. And to all those people emailing us from right across the globe. Thank you very much. Ross is in France. Beautiful day in the south of France. Too early for a beer, though. My French wife can't understand what's going on, but gives you guys a kiss anyway. Ross and Gabby in France. Thank you, Ross. Nice to have your company. Stephen's in Denmark, listening to the game in Denmark, wearing my Broncos jumper and listening over net. Keep it coming, boys. Go those mighty Broncos. Paul's in Japan, in Kobe. Well, I've been waiting for you. You're here now. Got the AFL last night. I've checked the calendar, listening to you, Blaze. Good on you, Paul. Nice to have your company as well. In Colombia, a most exotic place. Thanks for the live call. Only way to get the NRL in Bogota, Colombia, says Chris down there. Thank you very much for that. Brad's in Edmonton, in Canada, in the early hours of the morning. Can't watch it. Great to hear you fellas on the net. Alan's, he's in Guten Tag from Munich on the net. Here for Oktoberfest. Thank God for the internet. Well, Alan, you look after yourself while you get stuck into that German beer. And to Sean and Kerry, who are listening to us closer, of course, to home at Barara Heights, it's nice to have your company as well. Hardly can stay in the chair. You're making the call great. It's cold here. We're jumping up and down with the call. You'll be right, Blocker. Storm to win. Don't touch the dial. Just keep the passion, Sean and Kerry say. Well, at the moment, Brisbane in front by 8-4. We'll take a break and come back and hear what Blocker and the big man have got to say about the first half.
Excuse me. I need to have cocoa butter rubbed into my toes with the cashmere glove. The big toe? Try the second toe. Work your way down to the little pinky. Look at the toes, don't look at me. Is this cocoa butter organic?
Sports stars get what they want on demand. You can too. Get full NRL match replays, video highlights, plus in-depth discussions with NRL Deluxe, hosted by Brad Fittler. NRL on demand. Visit bigpond.com and click on sport.
As proud short sponsor of the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles, Reed Constructions Australia is thrilled by the team's successful season. Congratulations on a great year. With the support of Reed Constructions Australia, we hope the Sea Eagles are back bigger and better in 2007. Reed Constructions Australia, building and refurbishing multi-million-dollar commercial and civil projects throughout Australia. Reed Constructions Australia, where the success of tomorrow is built on the projects of today. Visit our website, reedgroup.com.au.
Want to be your own boss and share in a $3 billion Australian industry? Talk to Janny King, the world's largest commercial cleaning franchise operator, and find out how you can own and operate a fully supported, low-investment franchise. With a guaranteed customer base to start your business, it's no wonder Janny King is the king of clean. Make money from someone else's mess and clean up big time. Janny King. Call 9634-4133.
Great Rodeo deals are go at Holden, with tough-to-beat deals across selected petrol and diesel Rodeo models, like the Rodeo LX 4x2 single cab chassis with a 3.6-litre V6 petrol engine and power steering from only $17,990, plus trade, dealer, delivery and government charges. But hurry, because these tough-to-beat deals will be knocking off soon. Holden, go for a great deal. Private and ABN buyers only. Offer ends 31st to the 10th/06 or while stocks last.
Thanks to Channel 7, Scott's Lawn Builder and Topfield Digital TV Recorders. The NRL Grand Final on 2GB.
Half-time, 8-4, Brisbane lead Melbourne. James in California. Feel for the Blacks' experience of Ramadan in the Middle East. No grog in the US after 2 o'clock, but enjoy the call. Hatoshi's in Vancouver. Great call. Go the Broncos. Thank you for that. Brett says, great to listen to the footy in Whistler, Canada. Thanks for the legendary continuous call, says Ando, who's over there as well. And Drew sent this from Qatar. Yes, you're right, Ray. There are 150 of us Aussies here in Qatar in the Middle East as part of David Atkins' creative team producing the opening and closing ceremonies of the Asian Games in December. We're all grouped around one of our computers listening to the call. Go the Broncos. G'day to David and the team out there, and I'm sure that you'll do Australia proud for the opening and closing ceremonies of the Asian Games. Blocker Roach and the big man, Darryl Brohman. Am I going over the top? What a great game.
I thought it was a tremendous first half, Ray. The defence from both sides was absolutely outstanding. There were some wonderful performers out there, none better than Justin Hodges. He's just been sensational this year. His spot's fullback. He is a genius. He's a fantastic player. Every time he gets the ball, the alarm bells are ringing from Melbourne, and he is really stretching him. I think Berrigan has been outstanding for them as well. He defends in the centres, but when it's time to... When the Broncos get some possession, he gets into dummy half and he just tests them all the time. He's been fantastic. Cooper Cronk, I think, is going well. Kidwell playing really well. Sam Thaida's having a game. But I think this is going to come down to possession. And I suppose the big question mark is whether the ageing Broncos forwards can continue at the pace that game was played in the first half. The longer it goes, you would think it would suit Melbourne better to my way of thinking, but I still think Brisbane will get home here. I just think Lockyer will come into his own more as this game wears on. I don't think Brent Tate could play any worse than what he did in the first half. He missed some tackles. He dropped a ball. He just didn't have a happy game, Brent Tate, and he's a real class act. I think Brisbane will win.
I think it's a classic. I don't think the scoreline at half-time will mean anything towards the end of the game. 8-4. I think it's anyone's game. Just desperate defence wins big games, and both sides have been able to produce that. I've got to say that Melbourne Storm are trying to do a little bit more with the football than what Brisbane Broncos are, but it's been good for them in the first half. They just grind away. Their outside backs when they're in their own half just get in the dummy half. Geez, a dangerous player. I know you said it a little bit earlier. Justin Hodges, he's every bit as good as Greg Inglis, who Brisbane Broncos have bottled up, but he still looks like he's going to get out of a couple of tackles and make that yardage. It's going to be a sensational second half. Bring it on.
Okay, let's look at the tackle count. Firstly, for Melbourne, they've scored those 4 points in the first half. Cameron Smith leads the way with 25 tackles. Dallas Johnson, 17. But then the rest of the defence has been spread between Kafusi with 12, White with 11. He came off. Kidwell with 13. Hoffman came off with 10. Blair's come on, 12. And then Ben Cross, who's been on there for a while, 10. But the tackling, have a go at David Stagg. Now, he's defending on this left-hand side of the field and has been responsible with Berrigan and Perry for trying to bottle up Inglis. He's come up with 17 first-half tackles. And, I mean, a lot of plays going his way because they're swinging to the right-hand side and to Inglis. And he's done a pretty good job. Webke with 19, Sean Berrigan 12, Petro Sivanasiva 18, Thaiday 17, Thorne 16, Tony Carroll 15, Corey Parker 12. Just some of the stats coming out of the first half. Lockie?
Yeah, it's been sensational. Just the simplicity, Darryl, of the Brisbane Broncos, just the way that they're grinding out, not trying to do too much with the footy. They've given Melbourne a couple of opportunities when they've lost the football, but, geez, they've hung on well. They've scrambled better than I've seen them. But, as you said, the ageing side of this Brisbane Broncos, especially their forward pack, can they hang on? The Storm look like they're doing things a little bit quicker, but they're behind on the scoreboard.
Yeah, look, both sides are very composed, particularly the Storm. They don't panic in situations, but I just get the vibe that they might start panicking a little bit if they don't get some points on the board pretty quickly, because Brisbane are really frustrating with them. Just one thing I want to mention is that there was a fantastic tackle from Petro Sivanasiva about 10 minutes to go in that half. They were in trouble, Brisbane, on their right side defence, and Petro just chased and chased and chased. And I think he ran down, I think it was Matt King, where there was I think it was a 3-on-2 Melbourne had. It was a tremendous tackle from him, and it's obviously given Broncos a chance of leading at half-time.
Well, he's only one behind Shane Webkin. The tackle count has made 19, Petro 18. Now, the reason we've got a close scoreline, look at this. Melbourne have completed 15 of 20. They've had more of the football, 75%. Brisbane, 13 of 17, 76%. So they've had to make 170 tackles in the first half, Brisbane, 152 by Melbourne, and that's what Blocker was talking about. Maybe that will tell in the latter stages of the game, that defensive effort in the first half. I guess we'll just have to wait and see exactly what happens in relation to all that as well. Now, to all those emailers, I said I would acknowledge you because I know you're up late in various parts of the world. Nick's in Moscow. Great job, boys, calling the game. Feel like I'm there. Lonely without you guys on the weekend until next year. Thank you, Steve. He's with Mark, Tim and Terence listening to the grand final in Wuhan, China. Great call, guys. Thank you, fellas. Nice to have your company. Simon's in Illinois. Thanks for the call. Able to tune into the game online. Broncos for the game. Well, let's hope it is that way for you, mate. From Brussels, says Tim, hello. Thank you for that. Jason, thanks for calling the game for us in Canada. He's originally from Concord. Alan, I mentioned him earlier. He's in Germany for the Oktoberfest. So, Alan, you take it easy. Nice to have your company as well. Brad's in Edmonton in Canada. Can't watch it live, but it's wonderful hearing you fellas as well. Thank you for that. Paul's in Japan, as I said earlier, and he's there listening to us. Stephen's there as well from Denmark. Wearing my Broncos jumper, listening over the net. Keep it coming, boys. Ross, in the meantime, as I said, in France, he's there with his wife, Gabby. She can't understand what we're gibbering about, but it's nice to have your company anyway. And Steve says, originally from Sydney, now in Adelaide, thanks to 2GB and the web, I get my fix of rugby league. Well, that's good, pal. I'm glad you're listening to us. Thanks for the broadcast, says Simone from Dubai. My husband follows the Dragons. I follow the Storm. We tuned in last week, but for some reason my husband says he's too busy this week. Can't make it home in time to enjoy the game. Scott from Manila. We had the treacherous typhoon here in Manila. Today is fine. Great to hear you call in the Philippines. It's good to have you with us as well. As proud as I am of making the Broncos the grand final, says Steve from Tokyo, nothing compares to the courage of Sophie and her family. Please remind everyone what really counts. Well, I think everyone's aware of that, Steve. Sophie Delizio is an inspiration to everyone, including us. We'll take a break. Back for the second half with the Broncos in front after a gripping first 40 minutes by 8-4 over Melbourne.
Thanks to Channel 7, Scott's Lawn Builder and Topfield Digital TV Recorders. The NRL Grand Final on 2GB.
You've timed it perfectly. Back in the studio, they're just coming out for the second half. Paul says, from Egypt, working offshore Egypt, loving the call. Thanks for a fantastic service. Good on you, Paul. Nice to have your company. Adam's in Doha. Never mind Ramadan. We're in Qatar sucking on VB cans. All the Al Wab soldiers are loving your call. Big cheerio to the Coogee Dolphins back home from the Fat Man and Coco. Good on you, Coco. Nice to have your company. Justin's in Tokyo. From the mouth from the south, Benny, Justin and Smoko. Loving the continuous call over here. Broncos by 20, he says. Good to have your company, Justin. Thank you very much for that. And a couple more before they come out. Enjoying the call from sunny Alaska, says Brett in Anchorage. Still no sign of the Melbourne Storm. Frank says Tiger Storm here in Maidstone in Kent. Loving the coverage. And it's good to have your company as well. Go the Tigers for next year. And David's over there. Bluey, good on you, Bluey. Very lucky punter. I was a lucky punter listening in Saudi Arabia. No such luck this year. I'm living in Thailand where my winnings stretch quite a bit further. Listening to you call again. Oh, yeah, Bluey's the bloke that won all the money. We spoke to him last year on the West Tigers victory. Good on you, Bluey. Glad to know you're spending it wisely, son. And another one of our listeners is listening. You're my saving grace. I just got thrown out of the pub, said BJ. I know smoking has been banned in pubs, but nobody told me the public nudity was banned too. Sorry, mate. Yeah, you can't get in the nutty in pubs. That's not a go. Macca's there. Uzbekistan. Good on you, mate, Macca. In the tungsten mines. Melbourne come out and they're set to go. They defend the southern end of the ground. Northern end of the ground being defended by Brisbane. Southern by Melbourne. And they're about to go now. Now, the boys tell me while they're working on the opening and closing ceremonies, Drew says they got a big chair around the computer when we sent them a cheerio for David Atkins and his team. Good on you, fellas and girls. Here's the ball kicked off. Broncos bring it back from their own goal line. 15 metres out, put down on the tackles. They play the ball back now, and they'll play it back 21 metres out from the goal line as that ball was carted back by Carlaw. Now they're outside the 20. They play it again. The ball to Webke. Webke comes to the 30. Broncos in front by 8-4 as we launch into the second half. It's 26 seconds old. 31 metres out from their own line. They play it back from acting half Berrigan to Thaiday. Thaiday, this has been a good solid set of 6 for the opening encounter. 9 short of halfway. Berrigan again. Got the ball on the outside. Came to Carroll via his captain Lockyer. He's put down 5th tackle, 45 metres out. Now he'll go to acting half. The ball back to Perry. A little kick in behind them now. I don't know whether it's going to be too good or yet. It'll be good all right. It goes to the dead ball line and stops. Picked up by Geyer. Back into the field of play. That's the kick you want, Blocker. He's got them now inside their own 10.
Yeah, gee, they marched up over that halfway line pretty comfortably too early in this second half. The Brisbane Broncos taking control there early in the second half. The kick downfield, Geyer had to play at the ball.
Here's the ball played back now. Melbourne storm through Slater. Bring it outside the 20 before they're put down in the tackle. And they'll play the ball back now. Melbourne trailing by 8-4 as it comes to Cross. He's outside the 30. 35 out from his own line now. 15 short of halfway just off centre field. Cameron Smith for Melbourne from acting half. The ball comes on the outside to Jeremy Smith. He's put down 5th tackle. 8 metres short of halfway in centre field. He'll play the ball back from acting half. Cameron Smith goes. Kicks 5 short of halfway. Away from Hodges. He's got to scurry back for it. It bounces towards him. Picks it up now. 8 metres away from his goal line. Over the 10 to the 20. He's taken by Inglis on the far side of the field with an assist from Geyer. But he's 22 out from his own line. Carmichael Hunt. The pass comes away on the outside. They try to bring it outside the 30. Almost through Berrigan. But he's put down 32 metres out from his own line. He'll play the ball to Carmichael Hunt. He'll go himself. No. Gave the ball away on the outside of Carlaw, who's smashed by 3 defenders. All offside, said the referee. Penalty. Opening penalty of the second half goes the way of Brisbane. 10 metres short of halfway. Good one to get Blocky. 8-4 Broncos in front of Storm. 2.5 into the second half.
Yeah, they'll march straight upfield now. The Brisbane Broncos had a bit of football early in this second half. I'll tell you one tip I'd be saying if I was Craig Bellamy. Kick away from Justin Hodges, the fullback for Brisbane. Every time he gets the football, he makes great yardage.
Down on the touchline, Tony Megahey in a moment. They found touch way downfield. 30 metres out. Berrigan to Webke. Switches the ball away on the outside to Perry to Thaiday. He's put down on the tackle. Sam Thaiday will play the ball back 28 metres away from the Melbourne Storm goal line. Things looking ominous. Marcus. Berrigan again goes inside the 20, got the ball to Parker. Great flick pass out the back. Carroll over the top along the ground, picked up by Darius Boyd. He came back on the inside. This is scintillating stuff. Now Carroll's done a knee. He's down in back play. Tony Carroll's done a knee. The ball comes from Tate, then to Webke. Webke goes straight and hard. He's put down on the tackle, 5 metres away from the goal line. They don't want time off here, but they've got it. Their own player, Carroll, in back play. The referee's concerned for him, so he signals time off. And let's have a listen to what's going on as the referee moves in to talk to the trainer. And this could be curtains for Tony Carroll. He's as tough as an old boot. He doesn't go down unless he's in strife. We watch the replay now. He's hitting the tackle, and then he falls rather awkwardly as he passes it over the top to Darius Boyd. The camera's left him, so we can't see specifically what happened. Oh, no, he's up. He's up.
Well, he is tough.
Oh, I tell you, he's up, but he's not real well. He's not real well. Rebecca says, I'm a displaced Melburnian listening online in northeastern China. Thanks for your call. Keep it going and go the Storm. Hello, Joe. How are you, mate? One of our great sponsors from Tyre Power, Joey Laws. Here's the ball coming away from Berrigan, away on the outside of Perry. Perry, now Lockyer to Carmichael Hunt. He goes inside the 10. Back inside they come now. Put down on the tackle on the far side of the field. David Stagg, 8 metres away from the goal line. They're numbered up okay. Now the ball to Lockyer. Lockyer holds it up. He gave it to Perry, who was not ready for it. No, in fact, Berrigan. He goes back the blind side. Berrigan from the standing start stands there. Broke 1, 2, 3. Still going, and then lost it forward. And went straight to Melbourne inside their 10, and they bring it outside their 10, and they'll play the ball back now.
Just tried to do a little bit too much there. They're not patient enough, are they? The Brisbane Broncos early in this second half tried to force the ball. Berrigan, that's a great tackle from Carroll. He picks up Hill. Here's Melbourne Storm now at broken field.
Hill got it away on the outside. Came to Hoffman. He's picked up by Lockyer, and he's put down 9 metres short of the halfway line. 9 in from touch. From acting half, King goes through the dummy. Oh, what about Carroll? He's on the broad of his back a second ago. He smashed it into the ground. He's up and okay, Carroll. Here's the ball coming from Smith to Hill, playing a wow the game. Then Cooper Cronk to Inglis. Oh, great defence out wide. Put down by Stagg again. Plays it now 45 metres out from the Brisbane Bronco line. Guy has thrown it to no one. It's on the deck. It'll come back to Brisbane. Yes, they've got it just over halfway. Oh, Matty Geyer. Picked up by Tate, blindside. The ball comes... Well, Carroll, I said he's okay. He can barely walk. But somehow he got himself into position to make that tackle earlier. He gets up holding his right knee. He's there under sufferance, one would imagine, as Darius Boyd comes in field and put down third tackle. He will play the ball back 38 metres out from the Melbourne Storm goal line. Now Berrigan, Thaiday, through centre. He's put down in the centre field. 8-4, Broncos over the Storm, 5 into the second half. It's been frenetic. Looks like we've been here for 15, only for 5. Now Perry away to Corey Parker. He's put down on the tackle, just outside the 20 on the 5th tackle. He was put down by Inglis. The ball comes back away to Perry. He feigns the kick and then kicks a little low trajectory one. It's going to be a little problem here, but Turner picked it up, comes back into the field of play and put down by Sam Thaiday, 12 metres away from his own goal line, and Carlaw there as well. From acting half, Hill goes away on the outside, put down on the tackle inside the 20. Melbourne, they trail by 4. We are 5.5 into the second half. The ball comes back away to Cross. Half break made by him, put down on the tackle. He will play the ball back now to his feet. In fact, it may be White back on the field. I'll check in a moment. The pass comes on the outside. I was right the first time. Cross. Oh, Melbourne made a half break and lost the ball forward. Inglis has kicked it into touch. It was Kidwell. He was smashed to the ground in the tackle. The players come in to congratulate the man making the tackle. And I think it may have been Stagg again, David Stagg. His defence on that left-hand side of the field has been absolutely exemplary.
Yeah, both sides trying to force the football. That time it was Kidwell there as Nelly through. Did you see who was looming up on the outside was Greg Inglis. But Brisbane Broncos have done this for most of this match. They haven't used 2 of their replacements yet. Hannett and also Casey Maguire haven't taken the field.
Got a listener there, Ben, who's studying Arabic and league. About the biggest thing I miss from home is the rugby league in Yemen. Thanks for the great coverage. I could never imagine how much I'd come to value the internet. Here's the ball. Good on you, mate, Ben. Here's the ball coming back away to Tate. He's put down on the tackle now, 41 metres away from the goal line. The Melbourne Storm goal line as it comes back away from Berrigan. Thaiday! He runs into Dallas Johnson and he smashes him. He gets up and plays the ball back now. From acting half, they go Berrigan. They lead by 8-4. Switches back to Perry. Perry to Webke. Webke pushes away from 1, still going. Held on the tackle, but he's at the 20. And eventually Hoffman's there to bring him down. White's back on the field by the way I was right. He'll play the ball back now from 21 metres out from Melbourne. The ball from Lockyer. Perry almost through. He's taken by Cross, who remains out there. White's back on as well. They'll play the ball 11 out from the goal line. Now Justin Hodges from acting half, calling players on the inside. Oh, great defence. Brought him to the ground now. I think it may have been Hill. It was on the 5th tackle. Back to Lockyer. Left foot kick over the top now for the wing 3/4. They go high. The ball's been lost. It came back the way of the Melbourne Storm and they streak down the touchline. I think it's Inglis. He's chased from behind and gathered in. Berrigan, great covering tackle. A metre short of the halfway line and it was Greg Inglis. They play the ball back now. Comes back the other side. The pass comes away on the outside. Half break made now. Put down. There was a little flop from Thaiday as the tackle was made by Tate. From acting half, Smith to Hill. Hill goes to the 30, throwing dummies. Webke, Thaiday made the tackle. Back to Cameron Smith. Smith comes back to the blind side, pushed away from Thaiday. That's more like it. Good covering tackle brought him down from Tate again, and he'll play it just outside the 20. The ball goes away on the outside from Hoffman to Cross. Cross is held on the tackle now. Nearly the 5th, I'd imagine. 4, he says. They'll play the ball back 21 metres out from the goal line. Hill went to acting half. The ball to Cooper Cronk. Cronk away on the outside to Billy Slater. He tries to get on the outside. Got the ball to Inglis. Inglis comes back on the inside. They hang off, but he's felled 5th tackle. 11 metres away from the goal line. He'll play the ball back now from acting half Geyer. Oh, it's gone to no one again. It came back to the front row. I think it's White who's kicked it high. It's not a bad kick. It's coming down for King. He took it beautifully. He flicked it out the back. It's coming back for Turner. Turner got it to Hill. Hill goes on the attack. The ball came back and Hodges made a ball and all tackle high. High tackle penalty. Oh dear. A penalty. The player's all right. Let's have a listen.
Hey, that's out. No, stay out of it, Corey. Don't walk in. Out. Corey.
Corey Parker he's talking to at the moment. He just came in as 3rd man in, but no drama. He's going to call Hodges out. 8-4 the score. They looked to have it all solved, and then all of a sudden Hodges had to make...
It's a high tackle. That's what a penalty is.
Okay, that's on Hodges. He's calling Corey Parker out now, who came in.
You go in there with his man on the ground, he's injured, you're going to cause a total injury. You become the 3rd man in. If it escalates, you're gone, right?
If it escalates, which it didn't, of course. But the penalty's gone to the Melbourne Storm. The score is 8 points to 4. Broncos over the Storm, and the penalty's 9 metres out and 11 metres in from touch. Now King's coming out for a little caution as well. Let's have a listen.
I had that. If he's 3rd man, he goes. Okay, if it escalates, you stay out of it.
That's Matt King just been cautioned. They picked up the tempo there for 2 or 3 minutes, Blocker.
Yeah, I think the stoppage in play really helps the Brisbane Broncos. They look like they were out on their feet. Now the quick tap taken by Smith.
Goes away on the outside to Cross. He's put down. I think Cross was the man that put up that bomb that almost came off okay. 8 metres out. Cameron Smith. The ball on the Hill. Hill away to King. He's over. Try. A magnificent Storm try. 8-all. Kick to come. It came from the penalty. King. A magnificent pass. Oh, this bloke is going to the UK Hills on fire.
Unbelievable. Set up the 2 Melbourne Storm tries. Hill. That was a beautiful play. It looks like they were set for the 2nd man play. What happened was Matt King hit the line at 100 miles an hour. You don't see it very often these days. The short pass. Beautiful soft hands there from Scott Hill. And King goes over the first try in the second half of the Melbourne Storm.
8-all the score. 2 tries to 1. Melbourne can go to the lead with this kick. Now let me have a look. Geyer's coming over. Cameron Smith has been injured. He's rubbing his left thigh and his right leg. So Matt Geyer, who's been a bit down on form, some of the uncharacteristic passes he's thrown have been a bit unusual for a player of his quality. And that was Smith that was hit by Hodges, I think, from memory. That's where the penalty came from. Wasn't particularly vicious tackle, but just a little high. Needed a penalty and he got one. And now Geyer can put them in front. Gee, it was a ball from Hill into a yawning gap and a great gap runner. And there's a shot now, giant screen, of Craig Bellamy cheering as the ball's put down by King. 8-all the score. The frizzy-headed centre. The Perm King. Geyer, right boot strikes it. Oh, he's hooked it. No goal. He never looked like he was going to kick it. 8-all the score. Storm and Broncos It's all locked up. Magoo's on the touchline for Host Plus Super.
Well, haven't they sold him short? Scott Hill, he was in North Sydney reserve grade at the start of the year or halfway through all those years ago. Terry Lamb's replacement, but 2 pearlers. He's laid on 2 and brought him back from the brink. Scott Hill, a blinder.
Here's the kick-off from Lockyer. Goes back, not deep to the goal line, but bounced about 20 metres to get there. And the ball goes back to Cross, who's met by the defence. Can the Broncos return serve? They led 8-4. It's 8-all with 30 minutes to go. From acting half, the ball comes from Hill. What a game he's had. Back away now with the front row of White. He's put down for Melbourne, 20 out from his own line. Storm and Broncos, 8-all. The pass comes from Smith. Hill again to Slater. Slater tried to push past Lockyer, couldn't. He's taken by Lockyer and Carroll and driven back in that tackle. Inside he's 30 now. He plays the ball. Corey Parker was over the top. Now Parker was just about to make a tackle but pulled out of it and would have been offside because Tony Carroll made the tackle with Petro Sivanasiva. Cameron Smith, the pass on the outside now to Antonio Kafusi. He's put down 5th tackle, 5 metres short of halfway. Melbourne are lifting the intensity. Cooper Cronk from halfway kicks downfield. This is going to go straight to Justin Hodges, the last bloke in the world you want to kick to, from his own goal line. He'll bring the ball back to the 10-metre line, but Inglis is equal to the task and brings him down. 9 metres out. From acting half, they go through Carmichael Hunt. He goes across field. Little left foot step, but he falls into the tackle now and will play it back 11 metres away from his own line. The acting half is there. They'll run from that position now. They'll come to the 20. 3 tackles and they're still not beyond the 20. So all of a sudden the intensity and the pendulum swings back the way of Melbourne at 8-all. The ball comes away on the outside to the big second row of Thorne. He's put down on the tackle now with heavy strapping on the thigh. Now it goes back to Petro Sivanasiva, bashing it up the middle on the 5th tackle, 35 metres out from their own goal line. From acting half, Lockyer. He's going to kick from that position now. He's kicked it straight to Slater. He stands and takes it on the first bounce. Well, that's equally as silly. Kicking straight to him. He'll return the kick. Oh, great tackle by this fella, David Stagg. What a game defensively he's having. Geyer, he runs from acting half now. Ben Hannant's on the field and makes the tackle on him. And Ben Hannant out there for his first taste of grand final football and gives away a penalty. Wayne Bennett will not be happy.
Well, it should have went a little bit earlier too. Hannant was never square at marker. They've got to watch that too. We haven't seen a penalty for it in the whole semi-final series.
Here's the ball about to find touch on the eastern side of the field. 8-all the score. I've got a Paul Nixon in Newcastle. I'm a rugby coach from Newcastle, living and coaching in Romania. Love the call, says Nico. Good on you, Nico. They find touch 42 metres out now from the Brisbane Broncos line. 10 metres in from touch, eastern side of the field. Broncos and Storm, 8-all the score here, but the Storm on the surge as Cameron Smith gave the ball back away. And Dallas Johnson's taken high by Brad Thorne, and he'll play the ball back now about 29 metres out from this Brisbane Bronco goal line. You're starting to get nervous, I think, if you're a Broncos supporter.
I reckon they're in trouble too, the Broncos people too. Stagg is holding a left shoulder at the moment. I don't know who they'll replace him with.
Here's the ball coming away on the outside. The pass has gone to Hill. Looked a little forward from Cooper Cronk, but the referee said no. Nathan Friend's on and get to acting half in the headgear now. He's there, Friend. Goes blindside. Hannant dived at him from behind at marker and dragged him down a metre short of the goal line. Is it the 5th tackle? I can't see the referee. Yes, it is. Here's the ball to Hill. They're going to spin it. They might have numbers, but they're going to the air now. The kick is coming down. The winger goes high. King lost it backwards. It came back to the wing 3/4 and he's put down Darius Boyd 11 metres away from his own line. And Justin Hodges goes to acting half of Brisbane and gives it to Thorne. And Thorne runs and he's put down inside the 20. 8-all the score. Now the winger Carmichael Hunt's come from the left wing. He'll run from acting half. Goes outside the 20. Put down 28 metres out now. 2 defenders there. He gets up and plays the ball back. Dallas Johnson 1. They go from acting half. Berrigan this time. He's put down 10 metres short of halfway. They're better off with the dummy half running. Now from acting half. Hodges is going to do the same thing. He gets to halfway and put down. That'll be the 4th tackle. Gets to his feet, having a little chop at him. White plays the ball back. Coming on the inside, Tate. Tate looks for a straight runner. He's put down. That's a good set of 6 because this time they got to the 40, mainly with dummy half running. They'll play the ball to Lockyer. Comes to Perry from 41 metres out. They kick the ball back towards the in-goal area. Very well weighted. Stops in the in-goal area. Turner picks it up and Perry got up there, like grease lightning, and put him down with a great tackle.
He's had a good defensive game, hasn't he, Perry? Hardly been seen. And just passing on the offloading to Lockyer all the time, but defensively has been sound. Great chase and kick from him.
There's the ball played back by Melbourne as Turner gave it to King. They're going to try and get it out wide. Put down Hill. Good tackle again, this time from the same bloke, Perry. Beautiful stuff by the little halfback. The ball comes away to Kafusi. Kafusi's put down by Petro Sivanasiva, and all of a sudden it's Melbourne trying to labour out of their own 20.
Yeah, they're going well, aren't they? Both sides. Geez, this is an arm wrestle, isn't it? Both sides hanging on. The defence is left off where it started. The last tackle they've hardly made up over the 20 now, Melbourne.
They've made 21 metres from the kick, and here's Cooper Cronk on the 5th tackle, keeping him from deep inside the 20, and he's kicked it straight to Carmichael Hunt, who'll be inside their half by the time he's tackled. He goes across field, steps on the outside of 1-2, and now he's put down, and a great attacking position for the first tackle, 45 metres out from the Melbourne Storm goal line. Hodges, he'll run from acting half. He runs at the defence, and he's put down by Friend and 2 others. He plays the ball back. White was one of them. Johnson the next. Oh, he's lost the ball, I think. Oh, Hodges can do that every now and then. He just gets up and has a little brain explosion, throws the ball between his legs, and he concedes a scrum the way of Melbourne having lost the ball. It was just a silly attempt to play the ball too quickly. I know he's done well, but in a crucial part of the game with 24 to go at 8-all, you can't afford it, Blocky.
A couple of brain explosions. First, the high tackle, which Melbourne were able to score from. Then the incident to play the ball that time. 2 mistakes from Hodges.
Yeah, and very important ones, letting Melbourne off the hook here, right into the field to make a mistake down their end as Inglis takes the tackle of Perry again. He'll play the ball back 5 short of halfway. The ball comes from Slater. Away on the outside to Smith, who's playing at first receiver now that Friend's on the field. They'll play the ball back. The acting half is there. Nathan Friend. He's on the field for Melbourne. It's 8-all here in the grand final. Dallas Johnson got the ball to Kafusi. Flopped it out the back. Nice work to Slater. Slater goes inside the half. He's got them going backwards. Great tackle again by Tate. Brought him down. And he'll play the ball 30 metres out from this Brisbane goal line. Turner comes on the inside. He's put down by Thorne and Sivanasiva. He plays it 22 metres out from the goal line. Here's a great opportunity now. Friend from acting half to Cooper Cronk. Then a flat pass away to White. He's put down 5th tackle. 19 metres away from the Brisbane goal line. Defenders there, Hennett and Parker. Plays the ball back, Friend. Cooper Cronk. Little kick over the top. Carmichael Hunt goes high and takes it beautifully. Then breaks away from them, but he's chased from behind by Hill and put down 11 metres out from his own line. Guy, my mistake. He made the tackle. They'll play the ball back. From acting half they go. Held on the tackle now and driven to the ground inside their own 20 as they play the ball back, and there are plenty of these Brisbane Broncos walking, unfortunately, at the moment. As the pass comes away on the outside, they make it up towards the 30 before the tackle is effected. To his feet, Corey Parker. From acting half, they go through Hodges. Hodges at the 40. They need more dummy half running. That's where they have success. Quick play the ball by him. Berrigan back to Hodges again. Touch of brilliance they require here from Hodges. He's halfway through 5th tackle. 45 metres out from the Melbourne Storm goal line. They need another kick and another set of 6 like before. There's a rebound. Came back to Lockyer. Was it played at 6 to go? Lockyer's got the ball back to Corey Parker. 6 to go and Parker takes them on that 0. Here's a great opportunity now for Brisbane from 45 metres out. It's 8-all.
Well, have they got enough left in the tank too? They've got the repeat set that they've been so hungry for, this Brisbane side. They're keeping it pretty strong in the middle third at the moment. Lockyer needs to get his hands on the ball.
Here's the ball coming away on the outside to Perry through a dummy. He's held on the tackle. That'll be the second. 28 metres away from this Melbourne Storm goal line. We've still got 22 to go in the game. Now from acting half, Berrigan. Oh, he went in behind a player. He goes all the way to the line. Oh, high tackle by Slater. But there was a Shepherd anyway, but he's given a penalty. Oh, geez, they've been stiff. They've been stiff. There was an obstruction before that. There was an obstruction. Slater's been penalised for a high tackle, but there was an obstruction. A player came back on the inside. As Berrigan was coming on the inside, he was collared high. The tackle was high. He slapped him across the face. You can't do it. But there was an obstruction before that. They're going to take the shot at goal to break the deadlock.
Well, they'll have to too. You've got to take the shot at goal just to the left of the upright. Slater really had to put his body on the line that time. He stepped back on the inside, Berrigan. He threw out an arm. But here's the obstruction you're talking about now, Ray. The dummy thrown. That did impede a couple of players too. They couldn't make the tackle. Berrigan went straight through. Slater with the high tackle. Brisbane with the penalty.
I thought it was Lockyer, but it wasn't. It was another player, maybe Hennett, who'd rendered an angle. And he went behind Hennett, and Hennett took out a defender. I mean, he didn't take him out, but the defender was committed to him. Here's Corey Parker to break the deadlock. Jimmy's over there in Wisconsin, where he tells me a short while ago it was 5:15. Listen to the broadcast. You make it easy to visualise what's going on. Keep up the good work. Go the Tigers next year. Not their year this year, mate. You had your chance in 2005. Here he is, Corey Parker, a study in concentration to break the deadlock. 8-all the score. 20 gone second half, 20 remain. Who will it be? Right boot strikes it towards the uprights. Leather perfect again. 10-8. Broncos over the Storm. 10 points to 8. But by gee, Melbourne was so stiff. There should have been a penalty their way for obstruction. And in the end, it was a penalty. The crowd, by the way, 79,609. So only about 400 or so didn't turn up. 79,609 down on the touchline. Tony Megahey, he's there for Host Plus Super.
Oh, those marginals, they've had 2 dud calls to Storm, the one early and that one. That was an obstruction. They've had 2 penalty goals and there's nothing in it, but there's 4 points that the Broncos shouldn't have had.
Here's the ball with Perry back to Sivanasiva. They play it now inside their own 20 from the kick-off, Brisbane. Hannant goes forward now at the defence and dragged down 22 metres out from his own line, 15 in from touch eastern side of the field. They send the ball from Berrigan back to Thorne. He's put down. Who will it be to score next? Maybe they'll be the victors. 10-8 at the moment to Brisbane as they run from acting half. I think that's Casey Maguire, Eddie's young bloke on the field. 9 metres short of halfway. He plays the ball back, as Darryl told me in the Sunday Telegraph this morning. Petro Sivanasiva goes up towards the 40-metre line. Drop down on the tackle. He'll play it back 42 metres away. It is the 5th tackle now. The acting half is there. Berrigan, he goes, stands there, turns it back on the inside to Lockyer. Corey Parker, they're going to run it straight through. Maguire, back it came now. It came on the outside to Lockyer. Carroll, they've got an overlap. Take for the line. Try. Broncos try. 14 points to 8 with a kick that comes. The referee points to the spot. The Broncos, the experience there of quite a number of players, but don't discount the effort of Casey Maguire in getting the ball back on the outside eventually to Lockyer and Tate.
And he was a man that went from dummy halves. A beautiful passing game there from the Brisbane Broncos, and it was Darren Lockyer who just supported, spun out of the tackle, offloaded on the outside. The Brisbane Broncos hit back. That's a great try to them. There's only 1 try all in this second half. Some beautiful football there from both sides, but it's the Brisbane Broncos who chance their hand and get over the stripe to score the try.
Oh, Tate had a little bit of work to do. The replay for the Bortley Wines will come very shortly, and we'll see it again. Of course, what happens, straight after the try, 9 go to a break, so we don't see a replay here. Corey Parker will be kicking from the western touchline, but it was a great try, and plenty of work to do, but cool heads were involved as the ball was swept across to Tate on the right-hand side of the field before eventually the ball was put down by Tate just inside, despite the attentions of defenders, the corner post, and Scott Hill has been replaced, I think you'll find. I just see him coming from the field now. So Corey Parker lining up the kick at goal. Just check the other monitor, boys, and see if we can get a replay on another channel for me, please, because we still haven't seen it. I want to see the brilliance again. And we're not seeing it at the moment. And there it is now. So leave it on that one and put it back on 9 on that one, please, fellas, so we can see it again. It was sensational. They don't change the channel, but I wish they wouldn't. We saw the vision of the coach, Wayne Bennett, trying not to look excited, but he is.
On the inside.
Yeah, he is excited. Anyway, the kick at goal will come now from Parker over on the touchline. Western touchline. 22 metres out, about to move into it. To make the score 16-8, and you would think maybe a winning lead with 17.5 to go. Right boot strikes it, it's wide of the mark and just reaches the pace, so it was never looking too good anyway. And as a result, they come back to the centre of the halfway. So 2 scoring opportunities, a penalty goal, and now a try they seized upon. And the kick at goal is the restart, rather, after the kick goal comes back to Cameron Smith. On the touchline for Host Plus Super, Tony Megahey.
Well, Tony Carroll did the damage. He linked in support, and Tate had the pace to get there, but it's a big call with Scott Hill off the field. I'll check if he's injured.
Okay. Just watching some of the replay action of Justin Hodges. Had a sensational game of football so far, bar that one mistake. Anyway, from the kick-off, the ball goes to Hannant. He brings it outside the 20. The ball comes back to Petro Sivanasiva. He's put down inside the 30 and will play the ball back now. The acting half is there. The pass on the outside comes to Thorne. 14 points to 8, so still an opportunity for the Storm to level up at 14 all. With a converted try, and they're capable of doing it. From acting half, Hodges, he goes. The player Kafusi made the tackle, blocker was never onside. 48 metres away from the Melbourne Storm line. Berrigan to Thorne, having a pretty good second half. He's collared 5th tackle, but they're in great attacking position again. From 38 metres out, they'll play the ball back. It'll come on the outside of Lockyer. High kick from him. Coming down for Slater. He's got plenty of time to take it just in the field of play because he jumped from the field of play to the in goal, so it's play on, and he brings it back before he's put down on the tackle. Then he's going to be penalised, the Brisbane player. They just can't disentangle themselves I think it may have been Petro Civoniceva. No, he wasn't penalised because it wasn't his fault. Slater fell over the top of him, and he was there with his arms outstretched trying to get up himself. Now Gaia plays it for Melbourne. They're down by 14 points to 8 in the 2006 grand final. The ball now, Parker over the top like an Exocet missile, trying to make the defence there on the front rower. He plays the ball back, or I should say on Smith this time, as the ball came back away with Melbourne, and they're put down the tackle just inside the 20. They'll play the ball back now. The referee says fourth tackle. His friend sends it to Kidwell. He's lost the ball, Kidwell. He's lost the ball. Here they go. Picked up by Perry. That'll be 0 tackle. What a great chance from 24 metres out.
And it was Brad Thorne with a bone cruncher too. He put his body on the line, just dived straight into Kidwell. Ball coughs up. 20 out now, the Brisbane Broncos.
Here's the ball, 21 metres out as they play the ball back with Brisbane. And I'll tell you something about Justin Hodges in a moment as a short pass goes to Petro, and he's lost it now. It came back away to White. Now, what Hodges had done was exactly what shouldn't have happened. He rushed in and said, don't panic. Let's just play at our set of 6. You could see him motioning to the players. Don't do anything silly. We need to consolidate. And they've coughed up the ball through Petro, and Melbourne have it now. 35 out from their own line through King, who plays it to Friend. Then the ball comes on the outside. I'll give you one tip. They'll come back the Storm. It ain't over yet. 14 points to 8. Maybe with the kick at goal, an 8-point margin, it would have been difficult. With 15 to go, 6-point margin, it's anyone's ball game. 45 metres out from the Brisbane Broncos goal line. They play it Friend away on the outside to Kidwell. Kidwell away to Inglis. Inglis, he stepped inside almost, but Stagg made the tackle again. They play it back now. Kidwell on the outside. It comes to Cooper Cronk. Inside ball to Blair. Blair stood there. One-handed offload to Friend. He threw the ball back behind him. I think it may have been touched in flight. It wasn't. Picked up by Gaia. Gaia goes through centre field and dropped down fifth tackle, 28 metres away from this Brisbane goal line. The ball back to Cooper Cronk. High kick. Thorne came at him. It's coming down for Hodges. They're getting through. Hodges has lost the ball. Tackled in the air. King's there. Try. He wants to have a look. I reckon Hodges was tackled in the air. Let me have a look. Let's have a listen.
Have a look at the contest.
The referee for OPSM has gone to Bill Harrigan and Chris Ward. He said, let's have a look at the contest. My gut feeling, tackled in the air. What do you think?
Gee, I think it was too. I'm just wondering whether the ball bounced off a Melbourne Storm player into the Broncos player, back onto the ground, and if that is, it's a knock-on.
Okay, replay coming up now. Hodges attacks the football. They get through very quickly. Yes, it's been knocked on. The ball has been knocked on. You were exactly right. Don't worry about tackled in the air. The ball has been knocked on by Hoffman. Hoffman goes high. Yeah, there it is. It came off his arm. It went forward. And as a result, it comes to King. It can't be a try. They'll pack a scrum, and it will be a Brisbane loosened feed. Are we in agreement?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. The ball did go forward off the fullback for the Brisbane Broncos. Oh, no, straight off the Melbourne Storm player, Hoffman. Straight away, they're looking at it again. Oh, yeah. Well,
no, Blocky.
Well, the first knock-on is played by Hodges.
No, Blocky, I'm telling you, I think it's come off the Melbourne Storm player, and once it hit Hodges, I'm sure that constitutes the knock-on. Anyway, I don't think it'll be a try. The best Melbourne can hope for is the first knock-on by Hodges, but I don't think so. Blocker does. Anyway, it won't be a try, I'm sure of that. I'm positive of that, unless Bill Harrigan's had an absolute brain explosion. Here's the video referee decision pending screen for Harvey Norman. The Melbourne Storm fans, they want to try. I don't think they'll get one. No try, play the ball. So it was a last tackle. So it's not a scrum because it was a last tackle mistake. So they're saying exactly what I'd said. Knock on by Hoffman. Back to King. No try. Just decision. 14-8 with 14 to go. Broncos over Storm. The ball away on the outside of Petro Civoniceva. Kidwell with a shoulder charge, and he's been hurt here. Petro Civoniceva, he gets up. Hodges has words with him. He runs from acting half at the defence, and he's put down. Melbourne are angry at being denied a try, and they make a couple of tackles tell. Now he goes from acting half Tate, and look at Melbourne. They are really over the top of them. Over the top came Blair. The ball comes back away to Casey Maguire. Then back to Webke. He's broken away from two of them. Still going. And eventually put down inside the 30. 14-8, the Broncos lead the Storm with 13.5 minutes to go. Berrigan from acting half tries to break away. Eventually put down fifth tackle, 35 out from his own line. Lockie is going to go to acting half and kick from inside the 40, but he's going to kick it straight to Billy Slater, the jockey. He takes it 10 metres away from the goal line. Billy, he goes on the outside, through a dummy, straight through, step through, 4. He's thrown a forward pass to Gaia. My goodness gracious me. There's still 13 to go. We didn't need that to happen.
I think it's come off Brisbane, hasn't it?
I think it was thrown forward in any case. Let's have a listen. Brisbane scrum feed. Brisbane scrum feed. If it did come off a Brisbane player and go into touch, he's overruled that with a forward pass by Billy Slater. And there was a player in between Billy Slater and the player to receive the ball, and the player was probably Geyer, I think you'll find on the far side of the field. The referee signals time off as the ball's gone astray. But just on a kick return inside your own half.
Why would you throw it? Zero tackle.
Yeah, the ball was forward. Well, they're blowing up about the fact that Hodges touched it. But Hodges knocked it backwards. They must be AFL supporters not knowing what a knock on is.
Well, he threw the ball forward. You're exactly right there too. That's a right decision.
It is a correct decision as the ball comes to Tate now. So any knock on or ball into touch by Hodges is negated by the fact that it was thrown forward by Slater. Here's the ball coming to Hannett now for Brisbane after the scrum win. He goes inside the 40 and driven back to it by the defensive King. He'll play the ball back now. 12 to go. Gripping, absorbing minutes. Broncos 14, Storm 8 as they play it now 32 metres away from the Melbourne Storm goal line. The acting half is Berrigan. Brisbane in front by a converted try as Lockyer gets it. Fell over at the feet of Kidwell. Set upon by 3 defenders. They'll play the ball back now. 32 metres out from the Melbourne Storm line. From acting half, Carmichael Hunt. He's put down now. 5th tackle.
Do they have a shot at field goal, Ray?
Well, I don't think so. Although Hodge, is he calling for it? No. Here's a high kick coming from Berrigan. No field goal. Going back for it, Turner took it beautifully with not a lot of pressure on him, and then he tried to get away from the defensive Darius Boyd, but put down. 12 out. I think they probably would have been better off going to Lockyer on the other side for a field goal attempt, Stephen, as Cooper Cronk gets it away on the outside to Kidwell. He tries to get the ball to Inglis. He's down the touchline. He beats 1, 2. He's almost away, but great cover defence dragged him down on the far side of the field from that man. Perry again, Blocky. Unbelievable cover. Geyer from acting half. The crowd wanted a penalty when Perry wouldn't let go. They didn't get one. What about the cover of Perry on Inglis?
Oh, he's been unbelievable, especially in this second half. His kick chase and that tackle there, that was a try saver.
Here's the ball coming back away now. I think it's Cooper Cronk under the Brisbane bodies. Yes, it is. He plays it back to Nathan Friend. He'll go from acting half. The ball goes to Smith. Then the pass away to Billy Slater. Slater away to King. King's down the touchline. Oh, Tate. A magnificent covering tackle from 20 metres out. 5th tackle. The ball from Turner back behind Slater. Picked up now by Hoffman. Back to Smith. He threw a dummy. Comes back to the blind side. Got the pass to Hoffman. Tate on the outside. It came to Dallas Johnson. Left foot kick by King. It's not a bad kick, I'll tell you. It's going towards the goal line. It's kicked over the dead ball line. I think you'll find by Blair. Blair was coming through like a runaway XPT at Fassifern, and he got a foot to the ball and he put it over the dead ball line. Had he kicked the ball a little softer, it would have been a try.
Oh, that was brilliant play too there from King off his left foot. They let the ball bounce. Perry it was. The ball come off Blair. Ball dead in goal now. That's a lucky escape now for this Brisbane Broncos side.
Okay, referee's not quite ready for it here. He wants the players back on side. The only thing I can imagine there, as I watch the replay for OPSN, Blocky, and for our mates at the Bortley, is that Hodges must have called Perry out of the play because Perry put his hands up and stood back. And then all of a sudden Hodges had a change of heart, I think, as the ball comes back away to Webke. Straight over the top. Cameron Smith's gone. Cameron Smith could not make any attempt to tackle. He looks like he's got some sort of problem with his lower leg. He went to try and stop his leg to make the tackle and just gave way.
He's got to get Hill back out there.
Okay, well, Smith for Tri Nations. He's in a bit of strife for Tri Nations by the look of him. He looks like he's got a serious problem. They'll play it 45 metres away from this Melbourne Storm goal line as the ball comes to Perry, who's been Herculean in defence, particularly on Inglis on the far side of the field and on this side in the first half. Now 5th tackle, little kick over the top by Berrigan, but it's going to go straight to Slater. He'll take it in the field of play and brings it back in from the in-goal area. He runs past Hennon, got the ball away on the outside of Geyer. Geyer can't stand in the tackle. He's put down. Hennon was over the top. 14-8, the Broncos lead the Storm inside the final 10. Loose pass back to Slater. He got up when he wasn't held and now he's put down. He'll play the ball back 6 out from his own goal line. Smith is off the field. Cameron Smith has come from the field. As I told you, we'll have a report from Magoo in a moment on the extent of that problem. Magoo's following him up the tunnel, sniffing out the story. 12 out from the goal line. They'll play the ball back now. Friend away on the outside. Hill's back out there and he's been nearly their best player. Why he went off I'd never know. He'll play it 21 metres out from acting half Geyer. He goes to the 30. Pass on the outside came to Hoffman, I think it is. He's put down 12 short of halfway. To his feet to play the ball back. It was Hoffman. Now on the 5th tackle, a kick by Cooper Cronk. Not a great kick. Now Carmichael Hunt should have attacked the football. Takes it on the bounce inside the 30. Comes outside the 30 at the defence and held on the tackle now by Nathan Friend, and he'll play the ball back 14 short of halfway. There's 8 to go. The Broncos in the box seat, leading by 14 points to 8 over the Storm. From acting half over the 40 they go. Put down 6 metres short of the halfway line. Broncos 14, Storm 8. They'll play the ball back now. The acting half there. Casey Maguire goes over the halfway. Put down 46 metres away from the Melbourne Storm goal line. The acting half, Berrigan this time. Berrigan to Webke. Webke at the defence, bouncing away. What a final match he's having. And dragging Hill another 4 or 5 metres. Shane Webke as Sivanasiva comes on for Hannon. They'll play the ball back now. Berrigan comes to Thorne. Thorne's put down inside the 30. Maybe field now goal. The field goal block. You're right. Here's Lockyer from about 38 metres out waiting for it. The long ball, left foot attempt by Lockyer. Looks okay and flied. It's good, I'll tell you, it's there. They lead by 15 points to 8. Lockyer, a magnificent field goal attempt from centre field and about 38 out. He puts it straight between the southern uprights, and maybe that's enough to give the Broncos yet another premiership.
Oh, Ray, how calm was he, Lockyer? All the experience in the world. It was on the front back of the Webke run. He bounced out of a couple of tackles. That put them on the front foot. The long pass back, the left foot snap. Didn't even look like missing, just turned around, said, how's that? We're in front.
Oh, well, he kicked the field goal, Lockyer, but it belongs to Webke. He was the one that got the ball down inside the 30. As Webke brings the ball back from the kick-off, he's on fire. And I'm prepared to say he'll go close to being man of the match for what he's done here in defence and attack all night. They play at 30 metres out. Webke is exhausted. The acting half is there, Maguire. Back to Tony Carroll. What about his performance on one leg? He'll play at 11 short of halfway. 6.5 to go. The Broncos destined for yet another premiership. They bounce away from 1-2. Back on the inside and put down on the tackle. A metre short of halfway. Casey Maguire to his feet. No, Corey Parker, my apologies. From acting half, Tate pushes away from Friend. He's running out of support as he comes to the defence of Kidwell and Cronk. 5th tackle right on halfway. The Broncos lead by 7 points, 15 points to 8 with 6:12 to go. A kick from halfway. It goes back from Perry's boot and picked up by Slater. By geez, they need a converted try now. He comes down the touchline and put almost into touch by the defence of Darius Boyd. He plays it to King. King comes in field over the 30. Held on the tackle now and a big tackle. And he's driven back on the tackle. This Tate, his defence has been exemplary. The ball from Hill away on the outside to Inglis. He's been I was about to say he's been allowed no latitude and he almost made a break. He was brought down by Berrigan. He'll play the ball back and also by Casey Maguire. Kidwell. The ball goes to Cooper Cronk. He's been very quiet, Cooper. Kept quiet. He'll play the ball 40 metres away from the Brisbane Bronco goal line. The ball comes on the outside from Johnson to Hill. Hill from 41 metres out. The pass goes to Hoffman. Hoffman comes at the defence and he's put down 28 metres away from the Brisbane Broncos goal line. The score's 15-8 for the Broncos. Inside the final 5, we're about to go. 5th tackle kick. They're all offside. The player who takes the ball was 2 or 3 metres in front of the kicker. It bounced away from one player, Inglis, back to another. He's kicked it into touch, but back it comes. Well, I don't know what the touch judge were doing in the far side of the field on 2 counts. All the chasers were in front of the kicker, and then when Geyer passed the ball and it bounced off one of his own players back to him, that's a knock on.
Yeah, it took an age for him to kick the ball that time, Scotty Hill. It allowed the players to get in front of him. The Melbourne Storm chase not that good that time. Melbourne will try and wind down the clock now. A lot of dummy half. Gee, there's been some great defensive displays from this Brisbane Broncos side. We already mentioned their halfback Shane Perry, but what about the defence of Berrigan and also Brent Tate?
And don't leave Stagg out of it over there on the left-hand side of the field as well. They've been absolutely magnificent. And they've got the game won now. They couldn't score twice in 4.5 minutes, you would not think. Not with the other mob having the football for another 6 tackles as Corey Parker makes ground and put down 22 metres out from his own line. He'll play the ball back. From acting half, Casey Maguire goes, running at players who are coming back onside and they can't tackle him. He'll play the ball now. 35 out from his own line, Tate. He runs across field now. He's held on the tackle. He scored a try and tackled his heart out. 9 metres short of halfway. Brisbane in control. 15-8 over the premiership favourites, the Storm. The ball to Tony Carroll. He's put down 49 metres away. Tony Megahey's on the touchline. Let's go to him for Host Plus Super. Any news on Cameron Smith?
Yeah, still up the tunnel, but it's too late, I'd say. He's gone up for an injection on a leg injury, but it's all over now. Lockyer the champion. He decided it.
Here's the ball from Slater to Geyer. Geyer down the touchline. Looks to get the ball to Inglis. Lost it. Scrum. That's the ball game now. Inside the final 4 we go. And Matt Geyer contemplates one premiership in 1999 and a lost opportunity in 2006. The Broncos 15, the Storm 8. They've been the best team all year, the Storm, but on this particular night they have been completely outplayed. Craig Bellamy, inconsolable, a shot of him in the coach's box. He knows his chance at premiership glory has all but gone. And Wayne Bennett wins yet another premiership. He has never been beaten in a grand final.
6 from 6 from Brisbane.
Unbelievable. What a record. 6 premierships, and I think he now goes above some of the great coaches the game has had since its inauguration in 1908. And he goes to the top of the coaching tree. 6 from 6. His only loss as a coach was with another club as co-coach of Canberra in 1987. Here's the ball won by Brisbane. Perry goes from the base of the scrum, dragged down from behind, and he'll play it. Antonio Kafusi broke from the scrum and made a good tackle. They'll play the ball back now. The acting half from 10 metres out. Thorne, he goes at the defence, broke away from them. Maybe they'll get a try to certainly seal the victory. They've got it one anyway with 3 to go, leading by 15-8. The ball from Berrigan, away on the outside to Perry. He's put down on the tackle, 8 metres away from the goal line, right in front of the post now. Berrigan at acting half. The ball back to Lockyer. Lockyer runs across field. They hang off him, tries to go himself. It'd be fitting for him to score their 3rd try, but he's denied in the tackle of Nathan Friend. 5 out from the goal line. Hodges, he's had a pretty good game too. Back it goes to Carroll, and big Carroll, he's almost there. Dropped down a metre short of the goal line. 2:46 to go. 15-8, the Broncos in control in front. The ball comes away on the outside. Little kick by Perry to Slater. Slater runs from the goal line, but Carroll's there. They almost push him back into the goal line with Hodges assisting, and that's where he's going to play the ball, just in the field of play.
Not a bad position to be in for the Brisbane Broncos. They got them right on their own line. Tony Carroll, I forgot to mention him too. Virtually had to go off the field, stayed on there. Great effort from him. He's tackled himself to a standstill.
Here's Matt King with it now, and he's put down inside the 20 by that man again, Carroll, with Thorne assisting. No, Wedke assisting. Yet another one for the big prop, who bows out a grand final champion. Little kick over the top by Cooper Cronk for Geyer, steaming down the touchline. Takes it on the toe, chasing through after it now Inglis. It goes back, it's tidied up by Brisbane. They come up with the ball and put down on the tackle almost immediately by the chaser, Darius Boyd. Greg Inglis made the tackle, and Darius Boyd will play it back. How did Lockie get back there so quickly? As it comes to Tate, and he's put down 32 metres away from his own line. There's 1:48 to go, and Brisbane 6 from 6. They're destined for yet another National Rugby League premiership as Casey Maguire works it up to the 40 and put down on the tackle. The score 15 points to 8. The Broncos led 8-4 at half time. They got to 8 all, but the Broncos have been in control for the major part of the second half as they play it back 90 seconds to go. The ball to Tony Carroll. They just want to control the football now, not surrender possession. The Brisbane Broncos, they're 49 metres away. On the 5th tackle, they'll go now to the blind side and kick hard for touch. Slater will try and cut it off. In fact, Inglis is back at fullback. He didn't worry about cutting it off. The ball goes into touch, and the scrum will pack down. 1 minute 7 seconds to go as Wayne Bennett goes back to the coach's box to accept the congratulations of his fellow coaches, his team of coaching staff. Controversially, of course, replacing a team of men who've served him for a long time, including Gary Belcher, Kevin Walters, Glenn Lazarus, but it proved to be a quite successful change by the coach because he's emerged with a premiership. And as you'd imagine, Cameron Smith, the captain of Melbourne, their coach Craig Bellamy, utterly inconsolable. So as a result, the score 15-8, the Broncos over the Storm. And now we'll see. And now that the cheers were for Bennett as he comes down towards the tunnel. He'd come from his coach's box now, makes his way down towards the tunnel. He climbs over the top of the railing, and he's attended to by many, many well-wishers, Wayne Bennett. And congratulations to him, 6 from 6. He stands atop of the coaching tree in rugby league in Australia. Here's a little chip over the top by Nathan Friend in the dying seconds, but it's gone back to Hodges, who dives on the ball. Referee says play on as it came off his knee, and Brisbane will finish with the football for the last 15 seconds of the game. They win yet another premiership. They take it back to Red Hill. 10 seconds to go. 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's over, and Webke crowns a magnificent career with a grand final victory. As the siren sounds, the Brisbane reserves invade the field. Their coach Wayne Bennett doesn't get too excited about too many things, but this will give him a great sense of joy. And while they celebrate, the Melbourne Storm vanquished the best team in 2006 until when it counted on an October night when they were beaten 15 points to 8 by the Brisbane Broncos. Tony Megahey will try to get a word with the players in a moment, but that's almost impossible given the pandemonium that's breaking out at the moment. And the Brisbane Broncos emerge with 6 from 6, their 6th premiership title since entering the competition in 1988. Brisbane 15, Melbourne 8, 2 tries apiece to Justin Hodges and Brent Tate. Darren Lockyer kicked 2 from 2. Corey Parker 1 from 1, or 1 from 2, I'm sorry. 2 from 2, 1 from 2 for Corey Parker. And for the Melbourne Storm, Stephen Turner scored the first try of the match in the 15th minute. Matt King in the 49th was denied at least another 1 and possibly 2. Cameron Smith, none from 1. Matt Guy, none from 1. The scrums finished up 8-6 to Brisbane. The penalties 5-4 to Brisbane. And the full-time score in front of 79,609 was Brisbane 15, Melbourne 8. And the Melbourne Storm, unfortunately, come out of their second grand final appearance minus the medals. And what a wonderful, wonderful night for Shane Webke and his family. Greg Inglis, tears almost welling in his eyes. Let's go to Channel 9 now from the studio and hear Darren Lockyer talking to Ben Eichen. We can cross right now.
It's special, mate. It's special. You know, the boys showed some guts tonight, and it's special.
Mate, it was Shane Webke's last game, and he was simply awesome, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think Webke was playing as though it was his last game, mate. He deserves all the credit he gets, and he deserves tonight.
Mate, after all the criticism of players, coaches, some of it levelled at yourself, this one right now must be extra special.
It is, mate. I mean, we put a hell of a lot of hard work into this, and it's just really good to get the rewards.
Well, good on you, mate. You enjoy it. Over to you, Vossi.
Okay, yeah, we won't be going to Vossi. We'll stay here as Webke, Shane Webke, has his wife and children out there with him. And let's grab a word from Webke again in a moment or two. Compliments of Channel 9. His wife just passing his little fella to him, and he's emerged victorious. And here's Andrew Voss from Channel 9, about to go to the man that's retiring, Shane Webke. Let's hear from it right now.
I couldn't even begin to tell you what I'm feeling now. These blokes can play with this club, mate, is unbelievable. No amount of words are ever going to thank what these blokes have done for me, ever.
Did you spare yourself sometime during the week a dream as to how it would finish up tonight? And is this the dream right now?
I did not think it could happen. But to be here now, I can't speak about it.
Okay, let's leave that there. He's obviously very emotional. I think Magoo's got Brad Thorne for us. Let's go downstairs. No, hasn't got him at the moment. We'll go back with Magoo's got Brad Thorne there. They brought the portable stage out for the presentation. Obviously, the Melbourne Storm will stay here to receive their medals. And Wayne Bennett and Shane Webke embracing. And what a fairy tale end. Let's go straight downstairs. Sean Berrigan with Magoo.
Yeah, climbed the mountain, mate.
Yeah, mate, it's unbelievable, mate. I love these guys. Just can't believe it, eh?
Tremendous game, but I mean, your champion stood up. What a way to send Webke out, and of course your captain.
That's what he deserves, mate. He's what the game's built around guys like him. He's an absolute champion.
Go with your mates.
Okay, thanks, Magoo. That's Sean Berrigan, who played a decisive role. We'll hear more from players downstairs, but Blocker, they were just too good.
Yeah,
they just too good.
They just wouldn't relent, would they? I mean, the Brisbane Broncos, the raid after raid from the Melbourne Storm, just couldn't get across the stripe. A couple of times they were a little bit unlucky. I think it was King that got called back after the ball, but they just would not lie down. Their defence today from the Brisbane Broncos, I didn't think they could go with the Melbourne Storm for the full 80 minutes. They proved me wrong. They were just absolutely sensational.
Don't forget, of course, Webke's chance to put them in position. He got inside the 30 almost to, of course, give them the opportunity to kick the field goal.
Yeah, it was such a great run too, wasn't it? Just to put Lockyer on the front foot. Had he been driven back, that really put you on the back foot that time, but the chase wasn't there from the Melbourne Storm. They were down and out. They worked themselves into the middle of the field. Lockyer, calm as you like, snapped it straight on the left foot, straight between the posts. That was the ball game.
It certainly was, and as you'd appreciate, well, they've done this once before, Melbourne, under a different coach, of course, in Chris Anderson, and they felt the victory, and they played the first ever game here, grand final at Telstra in 1999 prior to the 2000 Olympics, and they got home against St George Illawarra, but they come back in 2006, 7 years later, in far different circumstances, having tasted defeat. And, well, you can't help it. There's got to be a loser, as there was with Premier League when Newtown were beaten extra time by Parramatta and Newcastle by Penrith and Jersey Flegg. But you can't console them. Let's go straight down to Tony Megahey with Darren Lockyer.
Yeah, well, one of his special games, this, mate. This is just one of the real special ones.
Yeah, it is, mate. Look, tonight was just a real gutsy effort, and we come up against a really good team, and we knew we had to hang in there for 80 minutes if we were to win.
Defensively, you were tremendous.
Yeah, look, that's what wins the big matches, and tonight the Storm only scored 8 points, so it's a good record for us.
Well, your thoughts on the coach? Well, 6. He's got an amazing record, and of course, Webke. What a way to send him out.
He deserves it, mate. I think one guy in the game that deserves that is him.
Thanks very much. He's been taken away from Magoo downstairs. We've got some people in India. Chris says 4 of us Queenslanders drinking some very expensive Forex in Bombay, but loving the footy, and you'll be loving the result, Chris, I'd imagine. Congratulations to all the Queensland supporters. Been in Leeds for 3 years, says Brian. Blocker and the gang. Goulburn boy originally. Thoroughly enjoy listening to you guys. Miss home and normal accents, but I continue to teach West Yorkshire people real English. Great game, great call. And a result that doesn't fit in with your plans as a St George Illawarra supporter. Lachlan Murdoch, of course, still very much part of the Brisbane club. I notice he's on the giant screen now, the former 2IC at News Limited, who's retired from them, although he has a non-executive position on the board still, as he returned to Australia from New York, where he'd spent quite a number of years, and the celebrations continue. Corey Parker. I noticed the players all came over to where their wives are, and one of the players actually came up to embrace his wife or his partner, Brad Thorne, and other supporters there as now. Obviously, family and friends are there. He embraces them and makes his way back onto the field now before the presentation, which we will take very, very shortly.
Great scenes there with the Broncos and the Melbourne Storm mingling and congratulating each other in what was a great 80 minutes of rugby league, kept us all on the edge of our seats. The entire season has been one that's unpredictable, whereby only rugby league is certainly the winner in what has been a great 2006 NRL season.
I love that cliche. Rugby league has been the winner.
Oh, it's my favourite.
Yes, it's my favourite cliche as well. He's patting the poor young bloke down there making the presentation because he's waiting for the dignitaries to join him on stage. He can't do anything to get the players up until the NRL trophy is there, and now the dignitaries come out to led out by the Prime Minister, Mr. John Howard, a St George Illawarra supporter, of course.
Who do you reckon will get the medal, mate?
Webke. What do you think?
I think Berrigan.
Berrigan, I think. I thought he was the best player in the field, Berrigan. Hodges' mate was great. He made a couple of mistakes. Gee,
okay, let's take the presentation.
And we'll hand it over to Steve Allen now for the presentation of the 2006 NRL Telstra Premiership Trophy.
Prime Minister of Australia, His Excellency Major General Michael Jeffrey, the Governor-General of Australia,
David Thodey, Group Managing Director, Telstra Enterprise and Government, Barry Pearce, ARL and New South Wales Rugby League Director and National Rugby League Board Member, and Joyce Churchill with us as well, ladies and gentlemen. Well, congratulations to the Brisbane Broncos, their 6th premiership.
No Sol Trujillo. He's outspending the $8 million.
The Broncos winners in 1992, 93, 97, 98, the year 2000, and again in 2006. Also, congratulations to the Melbourne Storm, the minor premiers in 2006, runners-up this year. Well, it is the 21st anniversary of the prestigious Clive Churchill Medal winner, and tonight, from the Brisbane Broncos, their hooker, Sean Berrigan.
The boys were right. Berrigan, winner of the Clive Churchill Medal, and Mrs. Joyce Churchill to present that award as she drapes the Clive Churchill Medal for the best and fairest player in the grand final over the neck of Sean Berrigan. What a game he had. Defensively, in attack, he was everywhere. He'll say a few words now, and here he is.
First of all, I'd like to thank Joyce Churchill. I'd like to thank Melbourne Storm. They played tremendous tonight. They never give up, neither did we. It was an awesome game. I'd like to thank my teammates. I love them guys. I couldn't have played as good as I did without them guys. They've been awesome all year. I'd like to thank my mum and dad in the stands. And especially my brother Barry. Love you, mate. Thank you.
Short but sweet. Sean Berrigan.
Well done to Sean Berrigan, the winner of the Clive Churchill Medal in 2006. Now I'd like to call to the stage the Dally M Player of the Year, the captain of the Melbourne Storm and his team. Would you please welcome Cameron Smith? A wonderful year for Melbourne. They were runaway minor premiers with 44 points. Congratulations to Cameron Smith and the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, firstly, I'd just like to thank the Broncos for a great game. They're a tremendous team and just showed how good they were tonight. And just a special mention for Shane Webke on a great year. Just so on behalf of the Storm, mate, well done. I'd like to thank all our supporters who followed us around all year. Done a tremendous job, and thanks again for coming tonight. And just to our boys on a great year. We're written off at the start, and we just showed what a great team we were, and unfortunately weren't good enough tonight. So thanks again.
That's Cameron Smith, the captain.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain of the Melbourne Storm, the Dally M Player of the Year, Cameron Smith. And now the Melbourne Storm will come on stage to receive their medals from our dignitaries. Again, a big round of applause for the minor premiers, runners-up in 2006, the Melbourne Storm.
So they come up. We'll get back to the podium in a moment when the Prime Minister presents the NRL trophy to Darren Lockyer and the Brisbane Broncos. Darryl, a word from you. Even at 8-all, I got the feeling there, bar for about a 5-minute period, they were really travelling okay. When they were denied that try, I really think Melbourne, they tackled really severely, but when they started running from dummy half Brisbane, they just seemed to take control of the game.
Yeah, they had heroes all over the paddock, Ray. There was players there tonight who just played probably their best game of the season. I thought Brad Thorne in the second half in particular was outstanding. Corey Parker was tremendous for them. Everyone played a part for them tonight. They were just absolutely fantastic. And, their defence was superb. Melbourne Storm threw everything at them, Ray, and they didn't choke by any means. Melbourne Storm were fantastic tonight, but Brisbane were just better than them. They just defended as though their lives depended on it, as the Melbourne Storm did. But at the end of the day, it was a difference. Lockyer, Hodges, and Sean Berrigan was just a masterstroke by Bennett. Their season turned around on the back of Sean Berrigan being thrown into hooker. I think that was probably, 6 weeks before the end of the season, something along those lines. And that turned the whole season around. He just gave them that spark they needed from dummy half. The halfback, I thought, was terrific tonight, Shane Perry. Defensively, he was great. Stagg, they were all fantastic. It was a wonderful performance. But Melbourne, I think, can feel well proud of their season. I know they're dejected at the moment. No one likes losing a grand final, and they're disappointed. But they can't be disappointed with the season they've had and the effort they put in tonight. They were terrific.
Yeah, they certainly will. Footy tabs coming through on the score of 15-8 Brisbane over Melbourne, $754.10, $754.10. Mark says from Massachusetts, excellent reception up here. We'll go straight back down to the stage and Darren Lockyer to accept his winner's ring from the Prime Minister and the NRL trophy from David Gallop and John Howard.
Darren Lockyer, the captain of the Brisbane Broncos.
I'd just like to call up someone who deserves to do this as much as anyone. Shane Webke to come and help me hold it up. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate Melbourne on a fantastic year. I know it hurts tonight, but you did a big effort for what you've done this year. I'd also like to thank everyone that's involved with the Broncos, the players, the admin. You've been great all year. To our supporters that made the trip down, we thank you for your support. We'll see you back in Brisbane and we'll have a beer together. Thank you.
I'm sure he will.
I'm glad he didn't say he was going to have a drink with everyone, like Royce did a few years ago.
Brisbane's bigger than Penrith.
Yeah. Anyway, let's have a look at the players come up and accept their premiership rings.
History. With 6 grand final wins. And what a finish for Shane Webke. 254 National Rugby League games. He receives a premiership ring. Now we'd like to welcome all of the Broncos on stage to receive their rings from our dignitaries. They start with Justin Hodges, who scored a try tonight. Brent Tate was absolutely outstanding all night long.
Darius Boyd goes up, joined now by David Stagg, Carmichael Hunt, Shane Perry, Clive Churchill medal winner, of course, Sean Berrigan, Petro Sivanasiva, Brad Thorne and Sam Thaiday come up together. Well, Tony Carroll can barely walk up the steps. It's been an unbelievable performance by him. Wayne Bennett has his grandson, I think, with him at the moment. I just can't see the little fella. I think it's his grandson. And Ben Hannett, he carries one of his children up onto stage, following up Dane Carlaw. Casey Maguire, of course, played well when he came on. And Wayne Bennett, just make sure I got the sex of that little child correct before I think it's a little fella that Wayne's got, his grandson it is. And well done. 6 premierships as the Prime Minister congratulates the coach. David Gallop congratulates the coach. And now the coach gets over to celebrate with the players as the streamers come out of the machines directly behind them. And the players acknowledge the plaudits of the crowd. Carmichael Hunt may have been one I missed there coming up. Corey Parker certainly didn't mention. Congratulations to them all. They're all worthy of mention. Ben Hannett, Dane Carlaw, Corey Parker, Brad Thorne, Petro Sivanasiva, he was there. Perry, what a game he had defensively. That David Stagg was absolutely unbelievable.